Warm greetings from the High 10. It's Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. The news I'm about to bring to you is very disturbing news. I do not know what truth is to the allegations, but I will bring you the said information. If you have a problem with anything repeated during this live, you need to go take it up with the local news agent. That's as far as I'm going to take it. With this information that I'm about to bring to you right now. And I want to thank the mods who brought the information to me this evening. I've had 2 minutes of rest since doing the last live. And here comes this mess here. I don't know what's truth or not, but as I said, I'm going to bring you the information. Thank you, Krista Moore. Thank you. I'm going to start off with some stats pertaining to the state of California, because whenever I do a live pertaining to crazy business, I have to bring information and not just talk about the information. A lot of people don't do that. They just talk on a live. I don't do that. I have to bring you some type of stats to bring some verification to the storyline. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Here in California, there are over 60,000 children in foster care system. Many children in California's foster care system experience frequent placement changes. How many kids are in foster care in 2020, California? There are 64,196 to 66,250 children and youth in foster care in the state of California. 52% of the youth in California foster care system are boys. That's a very interesting number considering the storyline pertaining to the West children, or boys. Let's just say the boys. How much do foster parents get paid in California 2021? The state of California pays foster parents an average of $1,000 to $2,609 per month to help with expenses from taking care of the child. It is one of the highest paying states in the nation in this regard. This figure is for each child you take into your home. So $1,000 to $2,600, as I said in my live last year. So whoever said $600, you're not accurate. California is one of the most expensive states in the union, besides the state of Connecticut and New York and Florida. So naturally, the payments for children would be higher. I also brought you commentary that the parent gets a stipend for children adopted out of foster care. So they still get a payment. It is less than the amount I just mentioned. And they will get that payment up until the child is 18 years of age. Thank you very much for joining me. Let's see what else we can find here. Will foster parents get a stimulus check? Okay. Can a resource parent receive a stimulus payment for a foster child? If the resource parent filed taxes in 2018 or 2019, claimed the foster child as a dependent, and is otherwise income eligible for a payment, they will automatically receive an additional payment for that child. How long can you foster a child? Since foster children are as young as toddler age and as old as college age student, the length of time a foster child stays in the system depends on various factors. However, on average, a child typically stays with their foster family for about 13 months. This is information from November 13, 2018. What expenses can I claim as a foster carer? These are the expenses: travel allowance, initial clothing grant, festivities and events, exceptional educational trips, DVLA disability allowance, retainer allowance, 30 hours free child care, career holidays respite. Is foster care income taxable? IRS. Foster care payments, generally payments you receive from the state or other eligible entity for providing care in your home to a foster child, perhaps your grandchild, are considered support for that child. These payments are not included in your income for federal tax purposes. Can you foster a child if you smoke? It is common misconception that smoking will automatically exclude you from fostering. This simply isn't true. You can smoke and foster. However, there are some restrictions. As a smoker, you won't be considered to care for a child under 5 years of age. Can I foster babies only? Most agencies don't take applications from people who want to foster babies. only foster babies, excuse me. This is because local authorities who place the children with agencies are usually able to find placements in-house. Therefore, foster carers with independent, also known as private, fostering agencies rarely get offered baby placements. So let me repeat that again. Most agencies don't take applications from people who only want to foster babies. This is because local authorities who place the children with agencies are usually able to find placements in-house. Can I foster as a single person? Yes, you can foster as a single person. Do foster carers get holiday pay? A basic maintenance allowance, which is a payment that the foster carer is entitled to by virtue of caring for a looked-after child. One-off annual payments, which the foster care is entitled to in respect to birthdays, Christmas, holidays. Oh, Lord of mercy. Do foster carers get paid when they don't have a placement? As a foster carer, you are paid on a fortnightly basis. While you have a child in placement, it is important to consider that you will not be paid any fees or allowances for any period that you do not have a child in placement. Can you claim a foster child as dependent on taxes? Yes, you can claim foster children as dependents as long as they are placed in your care by a placement agency, court order, government agency. 5 tests must be met for a child to be qualified. A child to be your qualifying child. This is dated May 31st, 2019. Can foster parents get food stamps in California? School-aged youth in foster care are automatically eligible for P-EBT benefits. Families with children who are in foster care do not need to apply or complete any forms, including those in family maintenance programs. This was uploaded May 12, 2020, if you are wondering where I'm getting this information. Okay. Is there an upper age limit for fostering? While it's true that nationally the majority of foster carers are aged over 40, the reality is that anyone can foster, provided they're over 21. There's no upper age limit either, and we have foster carers who provide care and support to children well into their 70s and sometimes even older. Now it goes into vaping. I don't know why anyone's asking this. Whether you smoke, use cigarettes, or vape, answer to this is yes, you can vape and be a parent. Can you adopt if you vape? If I smoke, can I adopt? Smoking does not automatically rule you out from adopting. However, if you wish to adopt a child under the age of 5 or a child with particular medical conditions, you are likely to need to be smoke-free for at least 6 to 12 months before making an application. This includes e-cigarettes and vaping. Can you foster without a spare bedroom? Most fostering services require you to have a spare bedroom to ensure the child you foster has the privacy, space they require. The exception is babies who can usually share a foster carer's bedroom up to a certain age, usually around 12 to 18 months. So if you don't have a spare room, you can't have the child inside of the grown person's room up to the ages of 12 to 18 months. What is short-term fostering? Short-term fostering is for children and young people who need to be looked after temporarily. It's the most common type of fostering, and it gives foster parents the opportunity to really make a difference during a time of immense change in a young person's life. What types of fostering are there? These are the lists: long-term, emergency, respite fostering, parent and child fostering, step-down fostering, sibling fostering, foster placements for disabled children. Can you foster if you rent? It doesn't matter whether you own or rent your house. You can foster either way. But if you rent, you'll need to ask your landlord for permission. Can I foster if I'm single and work full-time? This means that as a single person, you may not be eligible to foster if you want to continue working on a full-time basis. Let me repeat that again. This means that as a single person, you may not be eligible to foster if you want to continue working on a full-time basis. However, even if you want to continue working full-time, you still may be able to help children by becoming a respite foster carer. This was uploaded February 26, 2019. Very interesting. What are the pros and cons of being a foster parent? The pros of being a foster parent are that you are helping a child in need. You are able to see if a child is a good fit, if later there's an opportunity to adopt. The cons of being a foster parent are that you will be working with children who have suffered some level of trauma in their short Lies. Do friends and family foster carers get paid? What financial support is available for kinship and family friend carers? If the child is looked after by the local authority, you will be paid a full fostering allowance for the child. Even if you are temporarily approved as a foster carer, you should receive a full fostering allowance. What is a looked after child entitled to? Looked after children are entitled to an advocate who will assist them in conveying their wishes and feelings to professionals. How often is fostering allowance paid? All foster carers receive a weekly fostering allowance, which is designed to cover the cost of caring for a foster child. This includes food, clothes, toiletries, travel, all other expenses incurred. Fee payments may be on top of the allowance to recognize a foster carer's time, skills, and experience. What does long-term fostering mean? Long-term fostering or permanent foster care means the foster family will care for the child or young person until they reach adulthood. This usually happens when a child or young person is unable to return to their birth family and adoption is not possible. Repeat, long-term fostering means the foster family will care for the child or young person until adulthood. This usually happens when a child or young person is unable to return to their birth family and adoption is not possible. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Whew. Lord Jesus, somebody help me. How much does the U.S. spend on foster care? Lord, have mercy. On average, more than $9. This looks like damn near $9 billion are spent on caring for foster children. All I say is it's 9 damn zeros. Y'all do the math. I'm tired of talking. This is too much information. How much do foster parents get paid in Kern County? Rate changes. Speaking of money, the rate foster parents are paid will also be changing. Right now, it's $889 per month per child. That will change to increased amounts for children with greater needs. That was uploaded in June 6th to 17. So naturally, it's more money, as I had already gave you the amount. So basically, I've given you the basics for fostering in the state of California. How long do foster placements last? Since foster children are as young as toddler age and as old as a college-age student, the length of time a foster stays depends on various factors. However, on average, as I already told you all, a foster family keeps a child for about 13 months. And that's not very long. That's just a year and a month. Okay. Temporary foster care is the most commonly used category of foster care. Temporary placements are less likely to break down than long-term or permanent placements, probably because the period at risk is less. About 80% of admissions into temporary foster care are with parental agreement. These are a very sad statistic to know that most people prefer babies. This is why people adopt babies, because they don't talk. They haven't formed an identity yet, and they can be conformed by the person raising the child. Once a child can talk, speak, tie him shoes, people lose interest, I believe, very quickly. Children come with all type of developmental deficiencies, illnesses, mental disabilities, and then you have to count the person rearing the child. It can be a problem. So then the child becomes placed from place to place, place to place. So a child who may have entered in at 8 ends up leaving the damn state at 18. Unless he or she goes to college and stays in a foster home. Then they can pay for the child up until the age of 21. It's a very sad story. I bring you this information because I feel like it's needed so you all can get a better understanding of what's going on in America and the state of California in reference to the story of the 2 babies who are deemed deceased that were adopted by Jacqueline and Trezell West. A woman has come forward. She and her baby daddy to say that the children they have been trying to locate, which happen to be boys, very suspicious, because that's what shook me now, that they are boys, not a boy and a girl or two girls, but two boys. They are missing. They have had no contact in about 5 years pertaining to the children. The children were allegedly fostered with Jacqueline and Trezell West. The children were also told to her in confidence by someone in an official capacity that Jacqueline and Trezell West did adopt her children. So, where are they? Will the state come forward to give us information that those said children are alive? I pray by the grace of God that the children are alive, because if the state does not come forward to give this information, there will be hell on wheels now that the boys have been deemed deceased. And I don't see somebody lying to her to tell her that Jacqueline and Trezell adopted the kids. Fostering is one thing, but adoption, that's deep. Going to bring you the said commentary. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. All super chat to welcome during the live. Here we go. Any information I bring you is verified with a source, and you can check my community page for the verification. Thank you so much. God, give me strength. This is going to be a doozy. Woo! KGET is the source.
Meantime, the case of Orrin and Orson West has prompted the birth mother of two unrelated children in Kern County's foster care system to step forward with concerns of her own. 17's Robert Price spoke to the parents of two other boys who they say are lost in the system.
With the adoptive parents of young Orrin and Orson West now accused of their murder, another set of parents whose children were put in the care of the same people are asking, what about their sons? Virginia Williams says she has not seen her sons, Guillermo and Eleuterio Parra, ages 8 and 10, for 5 years. And at some point, she says, they were placed in the foster care of Trezell and Jacqueline West. That's the couple charged Wednesday in the alleged murders of Orrin and Orson, ages 4 and 3. After more than a year of investigation that included combing the desert around the West's home in California City. By that time, DA Cynthia Zimmer says Orrin and Orson had already been dead for 3 months, which leaves Virginia Williams in anguish. Where are her boys? She and Israel Munoz, the boy's stepfather, say.
Oh, sorry about that, you guys.
Kern County Child Protective Services isn't giving them any answers.
We don't know where they are. I'm asking for proof of life.
Proof of life, a phrase usually associated with kidnapping.
New
Williams
messages
says
received
a
from
court
Bus
official told her.
Wait, sorry about that. Wait, oh, Lord, sorry about that, you guys. Oh, messages coming in while I'm playing this. Sorry. Let me play it back. Hold on.
By that time, DA Cynthia Zimmer says Orrin and Orson had already been dead for 3 months, which leaves Virginia Williams in anguish. Where are her boys? She and Israel Munoz, the boy's stepfather, say Kern County Child Protective Services isn't giving them any answers.
We don't know where they are. I'm asking for proof of life.
Proof of life, a phrase usually associated with kidnapping. Williams says a court official told her in confidence that her son's initial foster care placement was with Trezell and Jacqueline West, and that scares her.
Been there 6 years now. They were adopted all out in 2018 to the West. And then from there, I've seen and heard nothing from them.
Kern County Human Services tells 17 News they can't comment on any aspect of Williams' story. Munoz says the whole system is unfair.
It's breathtaking, but that's how CPS does things. CPS will come in your house, they break up families, they don't need to be broken up.
Yeah.
And then they give these kids away like they're puppies. I mean, where's our constitutional rights?
Williams says the situation is part of a bigger issue, helplessness born of multi-generational incarceration. She says she was raised as a ward of the Los Angeles County court system from the age of 2. She has been to prison herself, and she says one of her sons, raised largely in foster care, has developmental issues that she fears will impact his life. And the chain continues.
My father and my mother went to jail for prison for murder. and I've lived with my grandma. Being that I am a warden to the court, every child that I have, by law, they have the right to take. Because I am a state baby, and this is the flaw that we should fix today. Because just because we are victims and we had no mothers, that should not hold above our head.
Guillermo and Elicano Para, where are you? It's a simple question their birth mother would like an answer to. In Bakersfield, Robert Price, 17 News.
A footnote here, just before airtime, DHS responded to our request for a clarification. We were told that the children of wards of the court or those who were once court-supervised minors are not subject to removal from their homes without additional cause.
So basically what the state is saying, we didn't take your children for no reason. We didn't come in the middle of the night and take your kids with cloaks and daggers, Illuminati, the Masons. You got your kids taken because of something you did or something somebody came and told us or the police was involved, yeah. Let's keep this grown folks talk, okay? I do not know what's the truth pertaining to this woman and the allegations, her and this baby daddy. You hear that she's been to prison, the father's been to prison. She doesn't go into details at what point the children were removed from her care, what she did to get them back, what notices she received legally by the state, because all that's left out. Excuse me, you see. You have to tell everything. You have to tell everything. You can't talk around in circles about your kids being placed with the state. I didn't hear nothing. They didn't call me. They took my kids. They gave them away. I don't believe that because I know that there's a criteria you have to follow in order to get your children back. It was told by the woman who was running the DHS office in Kern County last year. We don't want your children. We don't have anywhere to place your kids. So why would we want to keep your kids? But we will not give you your kids back if you do not comply with the rules and regulations to get them back, or if we deem you unfit to take them wholly without any, wait period, this or that. They're not babysitters. And people need to understand that. And you can't go around blaming the state because you did something to your child or you allowed somebody to do something to your child. They came in for a reason. They're not walking around, sneaking around, looking through your window to see what you're doing with your kids. The state of California is one of the biggest states in the union. You want me to believe that social workers are out walking around in the public housing developments and neighborhoods, peeping through your windows? Come on. Miss me with all this foolishness. Own your part. If you weren't a good parent, okay, you weren't a good parent. You want your kids back, then follow the rules and get them back. That's it. But what's scary is she says that somebody told her from the courts that they were adopted. Now that's scary because what if she's telling the truth? That person told her the truth. That yes, they fostered your kids and also are the same ones that adopted your children. We're now talking about a very heavy storyline if the allegations are the truth. I will play you one more commentary and then we will get into the subject. Oh, Jesus, my head is spinning. This is a nightmare. Okay, everybody, one more piece of information. And then I'll get into it. Lord have mercy. Hello, Brittany. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fair. The next information is pertaining to adoptions. 23 ABC out of California says, can adoptions be reversed? Thank you for joining me. Hold on one second, you guys. Yeah, the web is real deep now, honey.
In-depth look at the general process and have some answers for you tonight. The short answer is no. Once an adoption is finalized or closed, the parental rights of the biological parents no longer apply. But in some cases, if there is a proven issue with the adoptive parents and if the biological family can move quickly, you can contest the adoption. You must file a written objection to inform the prospective adoptive parents, the lawyers, and the court that you do not agree with the adoption. But if all of this is not completed within a year of the adoption, the adoptive parents can end your parental rights.
All right. That is ABC 23 out of California. Now for my commentary. Whew. Lord have mercy. I don't even know where to start. Okay. This woman obviously was a ward of the state. She's saying that they took all her kids because she was a ward of the state. I don't believe that. That makes no logical sense to me. You being a ward of the state has nothing to do with you having children and your children being removed. Doesn't matter your past, your this, your that. I don't see that's making any sense to me. I don't know if she's just saying that because she feels bad about being a ward of the state and her kids being gone. But the point is, you had to have done something for the children to be taken away from you and this baby daddy. You're talking about two people. We're not even talking about one person. We're talking about now two people. Both of you are obviously free from whatever troubles you got into. Did you go to jail at the time that the children were removed? What was the cause for the removal? You see, she never mentioned it. He doesn't mention it. How long were you all incarcerated? She also mentions in the commentary that her mom and daddy went to prison for murder. Very serious charges, which have no bearing on her children. Whatever decisions she made with her children were her own. As for the baby daddy as well. She said it's been 5 years since she's had contact with the said children. So now we have to ask ourselves what we will ask ourselves in the case of the West children. Did the bio mom in the West case have direct contact before the children were adopted? This case, same thing. Did this lady have contact with Jacqueline and Trezell West before the kids were adopted? I wouldn't think that the state would allow you to know where the kids were in foster care. I could see it being a public meeting place as to protect all parties. Because we now live in a digital age, it would be very dangerous for people knowing your full government name and where you live with their said children. Did this lady comply with the rules and regulations while her children were out of her care? Did she and the baby daddy comply with everything? Because that's not mentioned in this commentary. And I got a feeling she did not. I'm not going to believe that these kids were just taken for no reason when you just admitted that both of you have been in a penitentiary. So what I have to ask myself, did you get arrested? And then your children were taken from you. You stayed in jail, so naturally you wouldn't have been able to get out if you didn't have bond. So your children were in the state's care. So let's say you stayed in jail till trial or pre-trial. I don't know because she hasn't told us any of that. What is the truth to the allegations? She states that her children were in the care of Jacqueline and Trezell West and that they were adopted thereafter by the same Jacqueline and Trezell, and the source is a court official. Did the official tell her the truth in confidence? Is it possible that they were adopted by Jacqueline and Trezell? People do tell things they're not supposed to tell. We know this in the world. And this is going to be a very dangerous territory if everything she said in this news clip is the truth. That the children were adopted by Jacqueline and Trezell, and they are currently missing, and the state don't tell us nothing, which I'm praying they will at least verify proof of life. That's the least they can do, considering the boys are deceased and deemed dead by the district attorney of Kern County. Please tell us that these children are alive, because my fear is that, are we looking at serial abusers and possibly serial killers of small toddler children? No, Crystal, I cannot imagine. And the strange thing about this story is that crossed my mind tonight while I was washing dishes, that are we talking about serial baby killers taking children out of foster care, deliberately abusing them and knocking them off. And then I get a message from two of the mods simultaneously about this story. You have to admit the timing was very strange tonight. That's my commentary. Brittany.
Hello. So I've always kind of been wondering about the mother of the two. Well, because it was said
That's
that
not her. That's not her. That's not her.
So that's not the mother of the two other foster boys.
Did you not listen to anything that was said in there, dear? You didn't listen.
Yeah,
that's not
I did.
her. It's not her. Sweetheart, we are talking about a whole different case.
They're different boys, right?
Oh God, Brittany.
No, I listened. Am I completely
Brittany,
wrong?
Listen, Brittany. The person who you heard talking, that is not the bio donor of the West Boys.
Yeah. I know. So I mean, so they say Orrin and Orson were adopted, and there were two other boys that were foster, right?
Mhm.
Supposedly, other than their two biological, correct?
Mm-hmm.
This was their mom, right?
I don't know. I have no idea, sweetheart.
I guess that's just how I took it when she said that.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Being that they know two names or whatever.
Listen, that crossed my mind, but I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't really look at it like, that could not be them either. So now I just don't know.
Oh, Lord. This is just.
I assumed that it was the two.
This is a hot mess. Because what we have to do is go back and count the years. 5 years ago, so you got to count. So I had it down in my head before I went live. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't even look at it like that at all.
She said it's been 5 years since having contact. And then this was, Lord, I can't think right now. I'm trying to figure out how old the children would be because she didn't specify. Let me go back in here.
Sorry, I'm to mess y'all up. I just assumed that, honestly, that it was the two that they had when the boys went missing.
They're never gonna tell that.
Right.
They're never gonna tell that.
But even if they aren't the same two.
Let me read this. Just
okay.
Let me read this. Okay. Where are the boys? This time another birth mother is asking about sons allegedly placed with the West. KGET.com is the source. With the adoptive parents of young Orrin and Orson West now accused of their murder, another set of parents whose children were put in the care of the same people are asking, what about their sons? Virginia Williams says she has not seen her sons Guillermo 8 and Eleuterio Parra 10 for 5 years. So no, that's not these kids. And at some point, she said they were placed in the foster care of Trezell and Jacqueline West. The couple charged Wednesday in the alleged murders of Orrin 4, Orson 3 after more than a year of investigation. By that time, though, Kern County District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer said Orrin and Orson had already been dead for 3 months. Oh, mercy. She and Israel Munoz, the boy's stepfather, I thought he was the father. Okay, said Kern County Child Protective Services isn't giving them any answers. We don't know where they are, said Williams. We have no idea if they are alive or not, said Munoz. I'm asking for proof of life, Williams added. Proof of life is usually a phrase associated with kidnapping. Williams said a court official told her in confidence that her son's initial foster care placement was with Trezell and Jacqueline West, which she said scares her. They've been there 6 years now, Williams said. They were adopted out in 2018 to the West, and then from there, I've seen and heard nothing from them. Kern County Human Services told 17 News it can't comment on any aspect of Williams' story. Oh, God, it's bad. Munoz said the whole system is unfair. It's breathtaking, but that's how CPS does things, he said. CPS will come in your house. They break up families that don't need to be broken up, and then they give your kids away like they're puppies. I mean, where's our constitutional rights? Williams said the situation is part of a bigger issue. Helplessness born of multi-generational incarceration. She said she was raised as a ward of Los Angeles County court system from age 2. She has been to prison herself, and now one of her sons, raised largely in foster care, has developmental issues that she fears will impact his life, and the chain continues. My father and my mother went to jail, to prison for murder, she said, and I've lived with my grandma. Being that I am a ward of the court, every child that I have by law, they have the right to take because I am a state baby. And this is the flaw we should fix today. Because just because we are victims and we have no mothers, that should not be held above our heads. Guillermo and Electero Para, where are you? It's a simple question the birth mother would like an answer to. The Department of Human Services told 17 News, however, that the children of wards of the court or those who were once court-supervised minors are not subject to removal from their homes without additional cause. If a dependent child of the court has a baby while in foster care, that baby does not absolutely also become a dependent child of the court. DHS spokeswoman Jana Slagle wrote in an email, there are many factors that would be addressed in that type of situation. Once a dependent child of the court turns 18 or 21, depending on their desire to remain in care, under AB 12, children in California may remain in foster care until they're 21 with certain stipulations. They are no longer considered a dependent of the court and are no longer under the jurisdiction of the court, Slagle wrote. Okay, let me play this information here. Hold on a minute. Oh, Lord, this is a mess. A hot mess. So now we have to decide, or she has to tell us how old she was when she had the kids, because she's making it seem like she was a ward of the state when she gave birth to the kids, and that's why the state took her children. But this woman, Slagle, says, no, we don't necessarily take children from you if you gave birth to them while a state child yourself.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily believe all that she was saying at all.
Hold on one second. I still find that strange, the whole case, because she's not explaining when she had the children. You know, you got to make it make sense. You got to say, I had the child at 15, 14, 13. They took the child 1 month later, 2 months later. If you don't explain it, it's just, you're just generalizing, you know, the subject matter. And that's something I don't do. You know, tell me what's going on so I can understand what you're saying.
She's saying 2018 they were in foster care with them, right? I think that's what you just read. And then 2019
let me play this, please, honey. Just let me play this.
Okay, no, you're fine. Sorry.
Because I'm getting aggravated now with all these versions and stuff. This shit is becoming a circus. I can't even hear what I'm saying.
And Orson West stepped forward with concerns of her own. 17's Robert Price spoke to the parents of 2 other boys who they say are lost in the system.
With the adoptive parents of young Orrin and Orson West now accused of their murder, another set of parents whose children were put in the care of the same people are asking, what about their sons? Virginia Williams says she has not seen her sons, Guillermo and Electero Para, ages 8 and 10, for 5 years. And at some point, she says, they were placed in the foster care
so they would have been toddlers.
And Jacqueline West. That's the couple charged Wednesday in the alleged murders of Orrin and Orson, ages 4 and 3, after more than a year of investigation that included combing the desert around the West's home in California City. By that time, DA Cynthia Zimmer says Orrin and Orson had already been dead for 3 months, which leaves Virginia Williams in anguish. Where are her boys? She and Israel Munoz, the boy's stepfather, say Kern County Child Protective Services isn't giving them any answers.
We don't know where they are. I'm asking for proof of life.
Proof of life, a phrase usually associated with kidnapping. Williams says a court official told her in confidence that her son's initial foster care placement was with Trezell and Jacqueline West, and that scares her.
Been there 6 years now. They were adopted all out in 2018 to the west. And then from there, I've seen and heard nothing from them.
Kern County Human Services tells 17 News they can't comment on any aspect of Williams' story. Munoz says the whole system is unfair.
It's breathtaking, but that's how CPS does things. CPS will come in your house, they break up families, they don't need to be broken up. And then they give these kids away like they're puppies. I mean, where's our constitutional right?
Williams says the situation is part of a bigger issue, helplessness born of multi-generational incarceration. She says she was raised as a ward of the Los Angeles County court system from the age of 2. She has been to prison herself, and she says one of her sons, raised largely in foster care, has developmental issues that she fears will impact his life. And the chain continues.
My father and my mother went to jail for prison for murder. And I've lived with my grandma. Being that I am a warden to the court, every child that I have, by law, they have the right to take. Because I am a state baby. And this is the flaw that we should fix today. Because just because we are victims and we had no mothers, that should not hold above our head.
Guillermo and Electado Para, where are you? It's a simple question their birth mother would like an answer to. In Bakersfield, Robert Price, 17 News.
All right, this is sad information. Then you want to finish saying what you're saying?
I honestly just assumed. Now I'm completely confused. I really don't know. I assumed it
would have been 5 and 3, I guess, at the time. So they would have been the same ages as these kids that went missing 6 years ago, 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe the children that were left behind a little over a year ago were near their ages, 3 and 4, from my understanding. I believe that was mentioned early on in the case.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They were not older. They were not older children. That's why I said possibly the reason why the dog picked up a scent at the house in Cal City is because those children left behind, the foster children, were wearing the other dead boys' clothes.
Well, and I feel like the scent thing gets really sketchy because they only have what you give them to say that this is that kid's scent, correct?
Yeah, you're not listening. The dog went in the house.
Right.
Okay, so if I got clothes left behind from the dead kids, then they'll pick up the scent of the dead kids. So we don't know what was in the house. We just know the dog went in there. The dog picked up the scent in the house, but he didn't pick it up outside. Allegedly, they would have been outside because didn't you just say the children were outside playing?
Right. I guess I'm sorry. What I'm saying is like when they say we want to search for your kids, give us an article of their clothing, not necessarily something that has like.
Well, see, I don't know. I don't know what they gave.
Right. I guess that's what I'm saying. So you could give anything and they only have something to go that could have been another child.
Yeah, because you gotta remember the thing about the police, they don't know no more than what you tell them.
Right. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Exactly.
What you show them. So perhaps, as I said, the children who were left behind, the foster children, were in the same area of age. So possibly they were wearing those dead babies' clothes. They may have been wearing them.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because if she didn't have pictures of the children, you think what? She kept anything of value of the children? Probably not.
No, I mean, because if you look all through, as long as they've been missing, there's very few pictures of them, period.
Yeah, the only pictures they have of what was socializing on the media, social media by Jamal Watkins on his page. That's when people were snooping around and came up with the picture and said, oh, the picture released to the public is the same picture on Jamal Watkins' page. Then we traveled over there and saw the identical same picture. The crazy part is the family never put up any more pictures of the children.
No.
Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to this new story. Is there truth to what the lady is alleging, that her children lived with the family, were adopted by Jacqueline and Giselle? The children would be a little bit older. They will not be toddlers at this point. Are those children alive, or are they adopted by another family? Well, Lord, what is the truth? I don't know.
And maybe this is simple-minded thinking. I would think that would be an easy, like, I would honestly think that someone with CPS would get back with them, especially if
They're
they
not
felt the need.
supposed to. Brittany. Don't work like that.
But to know if they're alive, I mean, that's.
Brittany, what did the lady just tell you? I don't have to tell you nothing. They are adopted. That's the law. That once the papers are signed, we cannot just go give people information about the children because you want to know. I'm not trying to sound mean, but that's the law.
Yeah.
See, because what's going to happen is what I keep telling everybody about these stories. Are you telling us the whole truth about why your children were taken? Because she didn't tell you why they were taken.
No, I don't believe that at all. Because at the same time, it was very publicized, and they have always, I mean, like from what I was listening to last night, said that they continue to do the candlelight visuals and all that around in that area. Obviously, you would have known this whole year.
I'm not even talking about the West children right now. I'm talking about this lady here. That's what
that's what I'm saying. Like, she would have known that those are the people that supposedly had her child at the time a whole year ago. Where have you been? Even if those aren't the boys that were those other two foster kids, were not her.
But no, because those children are close to age, I believe that was said early on. Those children that left behind, the foster children, they were in close age of the West children. So these children are older.
Okay.
These children were their ages 5 years ago. So they can't be 3 and 4 and 5
that being said, though, you knew that there were kids. I would assume that you knew that there were kids being missing. I mean, because it's been a whole year, and supposedly they knew that the West had their kids at one point. Like, where have you been? And no, I do not believe her. I've never heard. That's the whole
part of the story. She's not going to sit there and go into a deep conversation for a 3-minute clip of the news of everything that happened. And see, that's what's going to be the problem, is because you can't just run to the news with a story and not tell the whole story. See, you're supposed to ask these people what happened, what made them take your kids. That's the first thing I'm going to ask you before you start talking about the West. I'm going to ask what happened with your kids. Why were your kids removed? What did you go to jail for? Were you in jail when they took your kids? Did they take your kids at the moment that they came to arrest you? Hey, sir, what about you? Oh, I forgot. You ain't even the baby daddy. I thought that was the damn daddy. That's the stepdaddy. But maybe he was in the picture when she had the kids. How old was she when she had the kids? She's blaming the state, saying, oh, they took my kids because I'm a ward of the state. So what are you saying to me? You were 16, 17 when you had the kids. They took the kids because what? Grandmama didn't want them. Were you living with your grandmama? See, all that is left wide open. You won't have an answer to that.
Because honestly, my mind ran wild when I heard that, because I had just listened to the replay of you reading the affidavit about the kids having something to do with it. And then she says something about one of her kids was mostly raised in foster homes and has behavioral issues. And then she goes into the murder thing of her parents. It was a lot for her not to say what it was a lot. And I don't even, yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, Lordy.
I mean, because she really seemed concerned about the one having mental issues to me. Like,
well, you know what? That's the same thing. The last one, she acted concerned too, and she fell off shortly after when her children went missing last year. Where is she at?
I haven't seen her.
I know you haven't seen her.
Nope.
You're not going to see her.
Only the one. You only see one that's consistent.
As Crystal says, they never want to take accountability. It's always the state's fault. Yeah, it's always the state's fault.
And I heard your commentary on the father, and I know this is a hard time for the family, so I'm not trying to like come down on anybody, but I heard you read that out a few months ago, and then I actually seen the video the other day, and it was almost kind of like a joke in a way. Like, where have you been?
Yeah, but see, people don't want to talk about that. That's what's the problem with the West case. That's the problem. Probably going to be with this case too. Nobody wants to talk about how the children got to foster care, where the parents were while the process was going on, that the children were in the state's care. You just want to get mad because the children were adopted out, but you want to fudge the before and the in between. But that's not a story. It's just like a book.
No, because
you don't buy the book and read. Listen, you don't buy the book and read the cover, read 3 pages, and then jump to the back of the book to the ending, and then cry and moan about the ending. But did you read in between the story? Because the story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that's what's been going on with those boys. Nobody wants to own the fact that they were fucked up before they got to Jacqueline and Giselle's house. They were at another foster home before them. They could have easily been hurt or injured there. Rumors are that's the reason why they left the last lady's house, because there was abuse in that house. I don't know if that's true or not. That was just a rumor. But that's the thing. You don't know what's the truth because it's an issue of policy and privacy. And ain't nobody supposed to be talking and telling nothing. So you ain't gonna know the truth.
No, I don't think
But
we
it
will.
needs to be accountability for how the children got in foster care in the first place. You can't just jump to the end of the story and say, well, we're going to forget all about how they got there to foster care. We're just going to focus on them being beat up, abused right now. Well, how about owning that, hey, you fucked up. That's why your kids got taken. And then, sadly, they were placed with people that the state was hoping were good people, decent people. But it still goes back to the original people. Somebody thought
I
you
agree.
were going to do right by your
definitely
child, but you didn't. But you didn't do right by your child. So the state stepped up and placed them somewhere else. Now everybody's mad that, oh, they're missing. Oh, they're dead. Well, guess what? They could have been dead at the first fucking place.
And that is the saddest thing to me, because that's exactly right. Is they deserve so much better, and their parents weren't able to provide that for them for whatever reasons, and they're put in the system, and people as foster parents, like that makes no sense. Like it's disgusting.
What's sad is I'm gonna say it till I leave here. You don't know people. That's the
No,
bottom
you don't.
line. Hurt people. Wounded people have children. This girl is a prime example of what I'm saying. Her parents murdered somebody. They're now locked up. She's a ward of the state. She didn't get her children taken for whatever reason. Now she's worried about where the hell they are. See, it's just a vicious cycle. But somebody has got to take accountability.
It's a blame game as well. It's a blame game. She blamed the state. Like, we all know that if you're a warden of the state, they don't take your kids. CPS can't handle what they have to start with. There's a reason they don't want your kids.
Yeah, but she's not going to tell that reason. See, if you
right,
notice,
but that's what I'm saying.
that was never mentioned in the news.
It's just funny how all of them blame someone else, and it was just very interesting to watch the dad's interview and all that.
Else. See, let me tell you something what people don't ever think about. It's kind of like the shit that's going on with Jacqueline and Giselle. I'm not thinking you're going to find out I was walking around with 4 kids for God knows how long. I didn't think you were going to have a camera facing my van to see I only had 4 kids. You see where I'm going with this? I ain't thinking you would find out why I really was adopting these kids, fostering these kids. I didn't think I was going to get arrested. Same thing with this young lady. She don't know what you're going to find out about her past. She's been kind enough to go ahead and tell us she's had a messed up, jacked up past, but she still didn't tell everything, such as how old was she when she had the children? What was the cause for the state removing her kids? Were the kids removed at the same time or different times? You left all that out. Bottom line. You gonna tell it all.
Yeah, and I honestly just jumped to conclusions, assuming, to be honest.
Well, my thing is, this is a story, and that's why I always tell people, don't get mad at the messenger. Don't get mad that somebody brought the damn story. If you want to get mad at the fucking news people and the people in the story. We only know what people tell us, and that's the whole point about a story. A story is just that, a story. It's a version. Doesn't mean it's true. Doesn't mean that part of it ain't true. Part of it ain't false. But that's all you got to go on. Those news people don't know her. They don't know that dude sitting there. All they know is this lady came to them saying, hey, I got some kids I've been trying to contact for years, and I don't know where they're at. And they were allegedly with Jacqueline and Giselle. And I also got information from a court official that those same people also adopted your kids. That's it. So it's a matter of who you're going to believe. This is, but nonetheless, no matter what, this is jacked up, because what's going to be jacked up more, they don't ever tell you if those kids are alive or not and safe in another home. You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
now everybody's going to start sitting around here wondering, are those kids alive and in a safe adopted home? Oh man,
Mm.
this is bad. But the flip side is, don't nobody owe her an explanation.
And I don't
Because her
necessarily
rights were
want that.
taken. Obviously, she didn't follow through, so they went on and pressed forward. That's what they do. They don't have to wait on you. They don't have to keep calling you and sending you notes and shit. Don't work like that. That's not their job. And that's what people don't understand. I don't have to wait for you to get it together. You
And she
should
clearly
wait
said she hasn't seen them in 5 years. So have you not followed up in 5 years?
She ain't seen them in 5 years because her rights were severed. Think about it. They give you so many months to a year or so, depending on the criteria, to do this, this, and this. If you don't comply, they're not going to keep calling you, writing you Dear Jane letters. Ma'am, are you going to respond? Hey, ma'am, we tried to call you. Hey, ma'am, you didn't take the class. Hey, ma'am, you failed the drug test. You know, whatever it is you're supposed to be doing. That's not their job. And that's what these dizzy ass people don't understand. It's not their job to chase you down. It's not their job to tell you to quit getting high. Pass a piss test. That's not my job. So then you don't comply. Then time goes by. There's no contact with the kids naturally. So then the state decides, and they'll tell you, we have decided to go before the court to gain full parental rights of the children. So when they get it granted by the judge, voila, anybody can adopt the kids.
Okay, so that right there, that's always been something that bothered me in the whole with the boys. Everybody acts like they just adopted these kids right out from
No, they
underneath them.
didn't. No, they didn't.
That-
Everybody
but
knows they
how
did.
could you
I
get
brought
in
a
the
source.
news and say
Listen,
that's so ignorant?
I brought a source last year. I was public enemy number one on YouTube because nobody wanted to believe what the source had to say. But like I told everybody, and I stand on that source like I stand on my own 2 feet. I'll back that source up through hell,
You've always
fire,
said that, so I
water.
believe you.
I'll go to bat for the source. The source will go to bat for me. If I didn't have a pot to piss in, the source has my back all fucking day. If you knew who the source was, you'd shut up. That's the point. And somebody knows who the source is. That's the reason why they won't talk about it. That's why they won't talk about it. Because they know if the source ever decide to reveal themselves, people will say, oh yeah, they don't got no reason to lie. Source don't have no reason to lie about a damn thing. Because I know more about the case of those kids, the baby mother, than most people. I can't tell everything.
No, and I believe you because as long as I've watched you, you've always said that.
Yeah, people don't understand
even
it. People don't
without
understand
a
that.
source, it's obvious that kids don't
if you only knew certain things that have transpired in the past year, you wouldn't even be sitting up here mentioning that damn woman's name in the chat and nowhere else. That's why they came to me, because they wanted me to know, hey, it's bigger than what you think. We know that these people are probably, behind the death of the kids, but you need to know that woman's not right. She never wanted her kids. She has 2 other kids that you all don't talk about. You're concerned about the missing kids, but what about the ones that's living? See, a lot of people didn't even know that. They just want to cry home like there's only 2 kids. Well, she had a total of 4. They all were gone at different times. So you want somebody to believe the state came and took 4 different kids at 4 separate times in your life? How is that the state's fault?
No.
You can't make that make sense. The boogeyman knocked at your door 4 fucking times.
No, that doesn't happen.
That's right, it doesn't.
It doesn't. And people don't adopt kids.
And they don't want to own it.
Definitely.
The family don't want to own it. The bio family don't want it. That busy ass bitch, she don't want to own it. And it pisses me off because, like I said, who's going to make up these damn stories about 4 separate children?
No,
Nobody's going to do
it doesn't
that.
happen.
That's the point.
Nope.
It's not like you went in a house and something bad happened and all the kids were removed at the same time. They were removed at 4 different times.
And that's really sick.
How do you get pregnant? Hey, let's keep it real. How do you get pregnant? Listen to what I'm saying to you. How do you get pregnant when the one got taken with the messed up leg? This bitch was pregnant a year later with another fucking kid, while the other one is in foster care. You should be trying to get that one back, and you get knocked up with another one, and then the last one, he gets taken at birth, and you still want to say the state just picked you? Hell no. No.
And
I don't care what nobody say. The motherfuckers out there rallying, you rally all you want to. But that means you have the same mindset as that woman and that baby daddy. And he didn't show up. He was nowhere to be found. Let's keep it real. Nowhere to be found.
No one.
September. That seems very suspect to me. Now you're suing these people. It's like, what the fuck is going on? And people in the chat were saying it in the last live. Well, where were the parents at? We haven't heard nothing about these people at all. So where have they been? You can't get mad because people are asking.
And the same thing, you're suing them, but where have you been? We haven't seen you. We've only seen one person the whole time. And I have to give it to her. She is still standing, and I do have some respect for her because, nobody else is saying anything. So whatever. But where's the dad? Like, okay, clearly we know the mom's got some issues, but you want to come out and take charges on someone or whatever else, file these charges. And a few months later, you're nowhere to be found.
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to be in the thick of it, be in the thick of it. If not, just bow out and stay out. All this jumping in, jumping out like you're playing fucking double dutch. These are real kids. These are little people with real hearts, real brains, real arms and legs. And now the state is deeming them, this DA is deeming these children dead. This is real now. No more wondering where they are, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I got evidence to say they're dead. I don't know where they are, but I got proof that they're dead. This is serious.
It's very serious, and I'm scared but very interested to know what it is they have because it's something for sure.
Yeah, but this is serious business because I'm telling you, when they go to trial, what everybody's waiting on is the evidence to show that they're dead. And that's what's probably going to scare the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, I agree. But it's something concrete. I really feel like, because I feel like, without them having the bodies and everything being circumstantial and whatever else, it's a gamble always without a body. So, but with things
listen, the lady is betting that what she has is ironclad. Right. The only thing ironclad is if you have it videoed. That's the only.
With the things that were said or in the affidavit, if it's not video, I don't know what else it could be.
It can't be nothing but video. Video, and Peter said, Paul said.
And then that takes it to a whole nother level of crazy, in my opinion. It's crazy that something like that would happen to start with.
What you mean, the videotaping?
Well, to have your children or a child do something to another child. But for it to be video, like that's the
only thing she could have.
And I agree.
All she could have is they taped them beating the kids' testimony that they watched and participated. They told somebody else who's verifying and testifying that they told them. It's one or the three. Or all.
And with the amount of witnesses, that's a lot. And am I wrong because I haven't followed up on this case in a long time because there hasn't been much going on, but wasn't her mother also a foster parent? Jacqueline's?
Allegedly, that's what they said. I don't know if that's true.
I guess
the rumors are that his mother worked with the state and that her mother was a foster parent. That's, I think, how perhaps her mother became a foster parent was through connections of Miss Wanda, or I'm not true. I don't put my stamp on any of that because I don't have any receipt to any of that information.
Right. Do you think there's any more charges coming for other people?
I don't know. If there was anything, it'd be his parents.
I agree.
That they knew all along that the children were gone or deceased, and they didn't do anything or inquired or call the law to say, hey, I suspect my child of getting rid of these kids.
I agree. They're interesting people, that's for sure. And so do you think they were trying to flee?
But you know what you have to ask yourself? What in the hell is this that I just played?
I don't know, because you really spun my mind a whole different way. I just assumed, with knowing that supposedly there were.
You assumed that, but you didn't know how old the children were. These children are older than
I didn't do the math. You're exactly right. I did not. So that's crazy.
It's bad. No matter how you look at it, no matter what side of the fence you want to lay on, it's bad. Because what's bad is the state is saying, I'm not telling you nothing. All I'm telling you is we don't take children without cause. That's all they said.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus. Crystal, you got something you want to say? Hit the link. Anybody want to give their opinion pertaining to these new allegations from a mother and stepfather that, oh Lord, their children lived with Jacqueline and Trezell West 5-6 years ago. They would have been toddlers at the time. And she doesn't have any information to where they are. They were adopted out. Allegedly, a source came to her, an official from the government, from the court, says that Jacqueline and Trezell did adopt the said children. So, did this court official tell the truth? Did they adopt their children? Where are they? Because we only know of the 6, 2 are biological, 4 were fostered and adopted. The 2 that are now deemed dead would be 4 and 5. The other 2 fostered would be near the same age, allegedly, what was said in the commentary in the beginning of this case. So that means they would be younger than her children. Her children would be older now. Oh, man. This is crazy. Oh, Lord, what you trying to tell us? Because you got to admit, this is some fucked up timing. Jesus help me. I feel like just my head is like about ready to explode. I mean, seriously. I'm just like,
I'm really thinking.
I knew when I got the notification tonight when the girls were sending me the messages. I was like, man, I thought one of them had killed herself. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I said, somebody hung herself in her cell. That's what I thought.
That's not funny.
No, but that's what I thought when I was washing the dish. And I was getting ready to go out the door right after I was washing the dish, and Crystal was sending the message in, and my phone talks, and I said, "Damn it! Did one of them kill herself?"
No, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I like linked it in one of your community posts, because when I seen it, I was like, "Do what?" But like I said, I wasn't thinking. I didn't do the math.
But let's address this, because it needs to be addressed, because it's out there now.
Oh yeah.
What if the state never tells us what happened to the children, and we are wondering where her boys are? And another thing that I don't think nobody's registering, she had 2 damn boys. Stay woke. Not a boy and a girl, not 2 girls. See where I'm going?
Right. And I think that's why I automatically assumed it was the ones they had at the time without even thinking.
So they fostered boys, adopted boys. Now we have a random Jane coming forward saying her kids were adopted and she doesn't know where they are. Records are sealed naturally. They don't owe an explanation to state, because that's the law. And she has boys, and these people fostered and adopted boys. What in the fuck are we talking about here?
And I've always found that strange. I found it strange to think that they had 6 boys or 6 kids, period. Honestly, at their age was odd to me.
He's the type what, Tracy? Tracy, hit the link. You got something you want to say. Stop chatting. Come on now. Just hit the link and say what you want to say. I don't want to read between the lines in your text. You got something you want to say about something in the case? Just hit the link and tell us what you mean. Oh, DeKento says the women never cared for the kids in the beginning. Why is she worried about them now? Very true.
Well, right. Regardless of when they had 5 years. And like I said, if she knew, I don't know at what point she found out from
No,
whatever.
DeKento, we don't think her kids are part of the 6. Her kids are older. Her kids are older than 3 and 4. It was said at the beginning of this investigation that the other 2 foster children were in similar age as Orrin and Orson. So they would have been toddlers as well, if I'm not mistaken. They did not clarify that they were older children. If I'm wrong, I will clarify it.
And she didn't clarify their age either, if she even knows.
Yeah, I just read you that. Her kids are older. They're not toddlers. This is 6 years ago. Her kids would have been like 5, 3 and 5, 6 years ago. Kids are like 10 years old now.
So I guess assuming that they took them at birth, which, as she said, since she's a.
Thank you, Linda. Say what, honey?
I said, yeah, I guess you're right. Assuming that they took them at birth and that she's, the state of the ward.
No, they took them as toddlers because she said they're like 8, 9. So 8 from 5 is 3. It's 3. Your babies were 3 and 5. So they're older now than the West boys.
Right. So they were 3 and 4.
Oh. I don't know, Kento, where they went. That's what she's trying to figure out. Oh, man.
I understand that, without, I don't know, you, in a way, though, with considering the circumstances.
I don't think they were the youngest. I think they had the other foster children. Y'all, please listen to what I'm saying, because I don't want to keep repeating this through the live. The other foster children, I believe, are similar ages as Orrin and Orson. The only children that are older are the ones that possibly beat them to death.
I do believe that it was said that Orrin and Orson were the youngest, correct?
I don't know. My understanding is that the other kids were like in similar ages. The other 2 foster children.
I don't remember. But yeah.
Right. This information came out a year ago. Nobody's going to keep talking about the other 2 foster children because everybody's concerned.
No one ever did.
Everybody wants to talk about the 2 that's missing. That's what I'm saying.
And okay, so let's just
you have to go back to the article from day 1 when they first reported them missing. That's where that info would be. It's from the very first week of the children missing. They don't ever talk about the other kids.
No, they never have. They took them that night and that was it. I don't even honestly remember the ages of their biological children.
They're older. They're older.
The oldest was maybe 10.
Probably about 11 now, something like that.
Yeah. I don't. It's been a long time, to be honest.
That's my point. And nobody talks about them, so nobody's going to focus on how they are. Gloria, they sent 2 back. Yeah, that's the rumor. They sent 2 back. But see, this is what y'all got to understand. The state is never going to tell you who got sent where, when they left, how old they were, what their race were, because it's private information. You're never going to know the truth. Somebody close to the family would have to tell you who all the kids were, their fucking names, their ages. Seriously. And then them dingbats ain't about to tell you nothing.
No, because I've never heard those 2 kids' names ever. I've never heard of what possibly their sons' names are or anything. I'm knowing what
Real
we know
deal. Y'all got to pay attention. Y'all are getting all the stories mixed up. The story I'm bringing to you is of a new person saying her children are missing. She doesn't know where they are. She has not heard or seen them in 6 years. They were originally with the West family, from her knowledge. When her rights were severed, however it went, a court official said to her allegedly that Jacqueline and Trezell West adopted her kids. This is about 5 or 6 years ago. The children are older now, about 10, 8 or so. Ugh, I'm getting nauseated. This story is making me sick.
Hey, I was confused. I might be confusing them even more. But knowing what we know now by reading that affidavit, it makes me wonder, other than like the holiday time, like why then did they report them missing that night?
I don't know. That's what. See, I think somebody was looking for the kids.
I mean,
somebody,
of course, I don't know their family relationships. If they even, visit with families on holidays or whatever else.
No,
other than that one picture at Thanksgiving.
Listen,
it's just interesting to think what was the issue that made them report them missing on the 21st.
The obvious, Brittany. You still had other children in foster care. Maybe they wanted to see the kids. This was the end of the year of COVID. Who's to say they want to verify the children? And you can't because you killed them. Don't you think that's a good enough reason to say they're missing? Hello? Get a drink. God, what are you saying? Jeez, something. Yeah, more than the West Boys, honey. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Marie. Somebody called asking about those kids. Somebody called, or the state wanted to see the children, so they had to come up with a reason. So they said the kids are missing. That's common sense. Somebody was inquiring about those kids. You're not just going to say they're missing. You've had them dead for 3 months. Why would you just wake up one day and decide to say, oh, let me report them missing? Because somebody was asking about them. Somebody was asking about them. Now we have to ask, who is the somebody? Good God Almighty. Well, Kento, that's the case in both stories. This story, nobody's talking about suing, but the old case with the West Boys, I don't know. The state is going to rally for the state. Everybody knows how the government works. They're going to rally with each other. And the thing that they're not thinking about is that the truth is going to come out about everything you ever did pertaining to those children. So every visit, not visit, all that's going to be relayed to the public. So I don't think they really want all that information out. She also had other kids somehow. They were involved in the foster system. Who are you speaking of, Tori? Oh, man. I think I've heard it all. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. And none of this is this is a nightmare. But I know one thing, the state is funny about giving out information, so. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you all for joining me. Guess I'll put this back down here because they're not dropping anything. Hello. A misunderstanding. Well, Lisa, I don't know. I just bring you the information. I don't know what's the truth to anything that I just mentioned to you, honey. Y'all have to take it up with her. So I don't know. This is just, I'm aggravated because I'm sick of talking about these fucking people. Every damn day is something. You got something you want to say, Miss Lady?
Yes, I was going to hit the link, but I already know it's going to mess up, so I'm going to call this way.
Look, let me plug this phone in so you don't get battery low. This phone low because it says, damn, Do you ever stay off a live, lady? Talking about these crazy people. Go ahead, take it away. I'm dropping the link. Go ahead, honey.
So
Woo.
mine is why all of a sudden is she coming forward now? You know, it's been 5 years. Now you want to come forward. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like,
I don't know. This is some strange stuff going on. Oh,
very strange.
Very strange.
But
let me read you that. Let me read you Real Deal's comment. He loves the comment. He says, "It looked like to me that Tercel was crying today, and Jacqueline had a blank look on her face. She kept trying to look at him." So what are you saying? Did they film them in court? Did they film them in court? Did they film it? Crystal.
Yeah.
Did they film them in court today?
They showed a
Picture. Yeah, I didn't know if they filmed them or not.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I think I don't know.
People are saying yes. Gloria's saying yes. Beth's saying yes. There's several yeses in the chat.
Okay.
Yes, today, news station ABC. So they did show it. So they showed them in the court. So you're trying to look at your baby daddy. He won't look at you. My. Life can be so cruel, Crystal.
Man.
Hey, it's over now. You treated me so bad.
You better tell it.
Somebody gonna have to pull out an old Luther Vandross record.
You better tell it. I'm wondering though that this girl that came forward, if that's really something, because
yeah,
I'm curious.
Well, we're all curious now.
Really curious.
You're going to be curious now because you've got two wackos that's killed a kid and orchestrated allegedly their children to do it. So what the hell? This stuff makes it all worse because now your mind's going to start wondering, hell, are we talking about two more kids that ain't above ground? Because you got to remember they were near the same ages as these kids were when they got missing. So what are we talking about? Serial killers, serial baby killers? What are we saying? I hope that's not true. I just pray that, she don't know where they're at because she didn't comply with the rules. They went on, adopted the kids out, and the kids are safe somewhere.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's crazy. Wow.
This is bad, man. It's still bad. It's a bad look, especially for two people that are having to stand trial for orchestrating the deaths of their kids by other kids. I mean, you can't get no worse than that. It's one thing to involve your kids in petty crimes, theft, fraud, but to orchestrate them murdering another children, like Politan said on Court TV, two kids, no matter how you word it, you still talk about two at the same time. Just think about that for a minute. It would be it's heinous if he killed them two by himself. Or she helped, aided, or she killed them. But you talking about orchestrating children to do it, two at the same damn time. Why? You wanted to be these kids were that bad, you felt like, hey, beat them to death. Just beat them. Lord have mercy. This is crazy.
I just cannot even imagine. That's just... I don't know. That's why I raised my kids, and I never had my kids go to the foster care, and the CPS never came to my house snatching my kids up. I mean, so I don't know. I guess I'm just one of the lucky ones. I guess. But this is when you have to take accountability for yourself and your kids. If you see that things are not working out, get some counseling. You still see that you can't raise the kids, then you take the necessary steps and you just pray that wherever they go, that the people will treat them right. Because that's the thing, that once you relinquish your rights or your rights are taken, all bets are off. That's just life. That's just life. Out of sight, out of mind. You don't know what's going on. And if your rights were taken from you, frankly, it's really none of your business after that. That's the law. Yeah. We took your kids for a reason. You didn't comply, or we just straight out took your rights. Hey, it's over. And it's not to say that you can't redeem yourself, change, have remorse.
But as they said with the state of California, we're not giving them back. Once the rights have been taken, it's a wrap. So that's why you need to think about the choices that you make. And just like with the case of you know who, damn, motherfucker, you talking about 4. And all that crying, I'll do right, you give them back to me. Well, why you didn't try to keep them? They wouldn't nobody have to try to give them back to you. Sound crazy.
And the fact that 4 has been taken, it's probably exactly why she's not showed her face again, because that's despicable. I mean,
she wasn't
really
expecting for y'all to find out. She didn't think somebody was gonna go find the queen. I'm everywhere. I'm like that satellite up in the sky.
And to continue to have kids after others have been taken.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense.
Let's keep it real. What would she do with them if they were alive? And I'm just keeping it real. What would you be doing with them? Because from my understanding, your ways haven't changed.
Right.
So what were you gonna be doing with them 2 little spiders while you out drop, lock, and pop?
Well, that's just it. They slowed her down.
You
She
still
couldn't do
had
what she
her
needed
without
to
a
do.
condom. Your ass is fertile. The fuck? Don't get me crunk. Y'all know how I am about them kids. Damn, bitch, put a condom on. That motherfucker need a whole condom on her head. You hear me? It's a whole body condom. You didn't fucking go to Lane Bryant see if they make a fucking body condom. Damn. Never seen nobody just love ding ding. And then when it was the rumor that you pregnant, I thought I was gonna faint.
And clearly she loves men. At the end of the day, you're never going to find a respectable man that would want to be with a woman that has lost 4 children.
Well, she was with a man. Don't get me testifying before the court.
But was he a man?
I don't know. I wasn't in his drawers.
Well, I'm just saying, there's boys and there's men.
You like something about her? You out in public with her? I wouldn't look her way. But I'd say to myself, get that bitch pregnant. It's on. I'm not getting ready to put my ding ding in nothing, and your ass ain't kept the ones you had. No. I wouldn't even risk the possibility of her getting pregnant.
Right.
No, we're not messing with her. She's fertile. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, all her parts working. Shit, she don't need no oil. Brittany, what you laughing at?
Oh, you're just funny to me.
You know what I think about? The Wiz, the Tin Man, squeaking and creaking and shit. Tee. 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 Shit, you get with her, you are done. You might as well just you done. You are done. Not to be funny, but it's sickening. So I wonder if it's true about the pregnancy.
But wasn't that was when the boys were missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
What'd you say?
She hasn't ain't nobody seen her.
Oh, okay. Nobody's seen her.
She's missing in action.
But guess what? You sure? But look, let's go here. You sure wouldn't want to be seen pregnant. Because the first thing people say, motherfucker, what? You swole again? Damn. Maybe. Right. That's why we ain't being seen. Because my belly's swole.
Right? I know I haven't seen her in no videos or nothing.
Thump. Man, you can't make that make no sense right there. Oh, gosh. Somebody help me. Look at somebody. Look at someone say, who got pregnant allegedly? Mrs. Claus. She told Santa he wasn't doing it right. She went and got somebody else, got one of them L's. Ooh, man, this is unreal. All of this. You know, somebody, I hate to say this, I've always wanted to go to California, but right now, hell to the no. Y'all, there's something in the water out there. There's something in the Wawa. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to these new allegations from a young lady out of California. She claims that her children are missing. She hasn't had contact in about 6 years. Jacqueline and Giselle West were fostering her children and then adopted them. She was told by a court official in privacy that, yes, T and J got your babies. Lord have mercy. Oh, man. Listen to David.
It's kind of off topic.
Debbie, please, you're killing me. That was a good one. Damn that elf. You got that right. That elf got some mean toes and fingers. Good goody goo. Jeepers creepers. Jeepers creepers. I'm gonna sleep good tonight. Did you hear me? Don't not one of you message the page. Please don't even respond. Just pretend you never saw this video. I'm serious. Just do not respond. So, Crystal, come on, let's talk serious now because we'll be cutting up. Do you believe the allegations? Do you believe they had these kids and also adopted the children?
It seems a little. I mean, it's possible, but it seems a little far-fetched. The reason why I say that is because, like, all of a sudden she came out, like, now. I mean,
well, you got to remember, there's nothing she could do anyway. It was nothing she could do when she was curious about the kids because it was over with. They were adopted. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, so why is she coming up now to...
Because these kids are dead. Did you forget? The children is dead.
She should have said something in the beginning.
Right. Oh, we forgot about that.
No, we're not so no. Queen,
you are so right. Look, Queen done forgot, honey. Queen sleepy. Queen done forgot. Yeah, why you ain't come forth before Brian Dean by flesh?
No.
By my question.
No, we're never supposed to start at the beginning. You're supposed to start in the middle and the end of the story. You never start at the beginning.
My question. Hey.
No.
I need a stiff drink right about now.
Yeah, this
Brittany, you awfully quiet.
I was just thinking, wouldn't that have been an interesting interview when the mama fled to the scene that day?
Okay.
And then this lady would have fled to the scene.
That's not funny, Brittany.
I know it's not funny at all.
Oh my God, wait a minute. Ooh, I know where you're going with that. Both of them show up, that motherfucker would have passed out. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Call an ambulance. Somebody call an ambulance. Trizelle passed out. Somebody be like, what's wrong with him? Put it together. That's like some shit out of a scary movie.
I mean, yeah, and I mean it was very rare, anyways, that you would.
A killer is confronted by his victim's family members. Jesus wept.
And you know, it's funny when you think about everything that you know. If we followed it through all the way from a year ago, the fact that he gets in his car, he drives down the road, and all this other craziness.
See, you play it back. That's what I did this morning. That's why I had to cut that stuff off. I had to cut it off because I said, I'm going to have nightmares if I don't cut this junk off. That stuff scared me so bad. Listening to the neighbors, then watching the interview where she's, singing lullabies while he's standing there and she's nodding her head no, which everybody knows that's a dead giveaway. He's recounting the story, but she's shaking her head no. You're supposed to be nodding your head yes. Did y'all catch that?
The breathing and the okay.
Oh yeah, the gasping, yeah, all of that. I said, oh yeah, you did this. I went and get the wood. I thought, what, you had an orgasm telling the story? What the fuck is going on?
I hit a bunch of corners.
Yeah, a bunch of corners. People thought he said busting corner. No, he said bunches, and then getting the wood. He's got to catch his breath. Oh, it was cold. You know,
it was cold outside. We're going to get some wood.
I said, where is Rick Ross when you need him? Because this motherfucker up here rapping.
Yeah, he said way too much.
Yeah, but he gasped. He gasped between every sentence.
Yeah.
He took the biggest deep breath before he ever got started.
That's how I knew. That's when I listened to it again. I said, he's lying because it's taking him too long to tell the story. It's like, let me get it together. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Rick Ross, check this out. So, speaking of Rick Ross, after he says the boys have been rambunctious, he grunts.
That's Rick Ross, baby cousin.
Well,
every day hustle.
Coming on his marble floor, and he don't live the life that they live.
Well, I bet you what. Let's really chop it up now. You in that damn jail, like Miss Sophia, you is tossing. Oh, you know it's bad. He's wondering what she's doing, and she's wondering what he's doing. Who's talking to who? Who's trying to cut a deal?
Yeah.
They're in their sick.
And I think
they should have been.
her.
They should have been sick for a long time now.
Say what, Brittany?
I said they should have been sick for a long time now. Like, I don't understand how
when you've been going month for month, not being apprehended, I think you start to relax. You understand? Even if you felt nervous at one point in the beginning, I wonder if they're buying the story. At some point, he felt relaxed, he and she both, because they moved on. They never looked back. They never looked back. They never came to a vigil. They never searched. They didn't do anything. So they were comfortable. Very comfortable.
Do you think they were trying to flee?
In that Winnebago? Do you know how much gas is?
It's expensive where I'm at. I don't know about California.
Honey, they had to drive way up out their region just to afford to put fuel in that bad boy. Gas is high.
I wonder where they thought they was going.
They didn't go nowhere. That was 17 miles outside of.
I wonder if they had the.
Listen, why do y'all think they were running? They were only 17 miles out of the fucking Bakersfield, and they still in the state of California. A year later, they were not running anywhere. They just got off the grid, but they weren't literally running anywhere.
I agree, they were off the grid, and really, if they were going to run, they should have ran a while ago.
If they were going to run, they would have been left California.
So my thing is, okay, so they were leaving Bakersfield. It was 17 miles out, whatever, right?
Yeah, just out of the way.
I wonder if they got word somehow that, hey, we have a
no. Let me tell you what happened. No, what happened is somebody took a picture, and the news talked to him at the gas station, and I think they were asking him who he was, and he acting like he's somebody else, if I ain't mistaken. And so somebody snapped a picture of the Winnebago, the back tag, and posted it to Facebook.
Right, and that same day they were also at the post office, and they had it.
The post office. So somebody saw him and just posted it and put him on blast. So that probably was just saying, "Hey, this is the guy that is the father of them kids." And I just believe that the law enforcement had not been in contact. Because don't you find it strange they arrested them the same day or in the vicinity?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If I know where you at, I ain't got to do all that. They probably been looking for them.
It was interesting that the charges came out before he was actually arrested.
Okay, but that's the point. I think these folks have been off the grid. Nobody knew where to find them. They've probably been holed up in that damn Winnebago for some time. And it just so happened somebody recognized them, talked to them, took the picture, posted it to social media, and then here comes the brigade. And then there's an arrest. You have to admit that's strange timing.
Oh, very.
Yeah.
Because they could have easily took the picture and then the police didn't come after them if they didn't have no warrant. So I think the timing is interesting. The grand jury met months ago. They signed off in December, the grand jury. The warrant was probably signed just the other day. And lo and behold, here comes a picture posted with these fuckers on it. You have to admit the timing's odd. Or convenient. Beth says they were disguised. In what?
She mean their personal appearance?
Cat lady, please stop that. No, just stop that.
I hope they get life. I really do.
You're gonna get life anyway because you're already facing 30 years on the first charge. That's 30 to life off the top without the intent to, harm the kids. That's a 15 on its own, the second charge. When they get through, they'll be old people. It won't even matter.
They'll have cameras in the courtroom for the trial.
Jesus. I mean, it's just, it's like any crime. You don't know if a person did it or not. You form your opinion early on at some point. But then when you get the confirmation that the people are behind the crime, it's going back and listening to the videos of them talking is when you get to your stomach. Because now you know they were lying the whole time. That's really deep.
Especially his whole, but now that
said somebody was in a wig. Who was in a wig? Girl,
What?
please stop. Okay.
Is it
Who's in a wig, Beth? Okay,
It's
somebody said the retired detective said they were in a disguise. Okay, yep, he was holding and hugging himself real tight. What?
What?
Oh my God, y'all kidding me. I can't.
I didn't read.
Don't let me go. Don't let me go. God, please make me stop. This is sick. She said that's what was said. I gotta go find that.
I didn't see that. Oh.
Well,
I watched the video of them towing the thing away and whatever else, but I did not hear anything about a wig.
Well, let's go here. Brittany, do you believe this woman here with the allegations that they had her children, fostered them, and adopted them?
I'm kind of 50-50 on her, to be honest. I feel like
hit the link. I got 176 viewing. You all hit the link and give your opinion pertaining to the story. Because you're going to wear the story out anyway. You might as well just say what you got to say. Hit the link, give your opinion. In a blonde wig like yours. Oh, you got to shut the hell up. Don't say mine.
They're playing.
They ain't getting no wig like mine. That's a lie. You made that up.
I'm with Brittany on that. I'm like 50-50 because it's just 5 years later. Now you're gonna come and I just don't.
Well, the children, but you gotta remember the West children weren't missing 5 years ago.
But they were missing a year ago, and it was very publicized. I feel like.
Well, so what you're trying to say? She was locked up.
Well, when did she supposedly found this stuff out?
I don't remember. Do I need to play it again?
I don't think it says it.
You on. Huh?
Oh.
Say what, Brittany?
I don't think the news report says that she found out when the kids were with the West. I mean, so maybe she just found out recently.
Story. It's talking in circles like most news stories.
I mean, because in a way, it's kind of
like Candace. You're talking around the subject. You're not saying, at this time, I found out this. On this date, I did this here. I went to jail on this day. The kids were taken at this time. See where I'm going? A 3-minute clip of you talking around in a circle.
Right, and people talk about YouTube being clickbait. That's the same thing, because that's not legit information to say I'm a person of the
somebody
world.
gonna get verification. Somebody I'm telling you what's going to happen. Somebody getting ready to go find her. She'll be on somebody's YouTube channel crying.
Yeah.
All I can say,
right.
If the state won't tell it, you better pray to God she don't make her way to that district attorney's office. Oh, Satan, bye! You forgot about that.
Now, wouldn't that be interesting if the next thing we hear?
But the state will have an obligation to some degree to go on and investigate and get the records unsealed.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where she should have been. You should have been at the district attorney's instead of talking to that damn news. You should have went to them first. But what if she has already been to the district attorney's office?
She doesn't, and I don't mean this to be rude, but in certain situations, you really have to do your due diligence to get to the bottom of things, and that you didn't do your due diligence to keep your kids. I have a hard time believing you are staying on point to do the things that you need to do to get to the bottom of this issue either. Like the news versus going to the DA to go into the news. Like, I don't know. Like, I really don't mean to say
the news first anyway to get the story out. So now we got to wait to see if the district attorney is going to bypass DHS and enter a statement to say, yes, we have heard of the allegations from this lady. We will check into them or not.
I have a hard time imagining that they really would, whether telling her where the boys are or not, or her children are or not, that they would not publicly confirm that they are alive. I mean, I would think that that's just considering the situation and now that she's went public. But, I mean, at the same time, they don't owe her anything either. So I don't know.
Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know. I don't believe her. I mean, to a certain extent.
Hey, what, honey?
I don't believe her to a certain extent. I mean,
all I can say is,
I really didn't either.
I don't even really know what to think, teacher.
What gets me is how these girls, they come up after the fact. That's the thing that gets me, is the timing. All their timing is off.
Yeah.
They come, when it's too late to do something. Then when it's too late to do something, oh no, it was their fault, That's the thing that gets me. They don't start questioning stuff in the beginning.
Yeah.
From day one, I would have been on it. And I'm not going to stop until I get my child back. Yeah. I'm not going to come 6-7 months down the line, a year later, to start, figuring out what's going on. You're gonna start from day one. The day they take your child is the day you stay on it. You don't let it ride. And I don't see how people don't see that. I don't know.
No, they don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to take responsibility. They only want to cry when something's happening and it makes the news. Then it's, oh, my kid. Well, you don't got no rights, so really by law, it's not your kid.
Right.
It's not your kid.
It's truly a different breed of people, I feel like, honestly. I mean, I can remember when my son was
The lawyer said on Billy Politan on Court TV, he says, not trying to be mean, but there's not your kids anymore.
Right. I mean, facts is facts.
You gave birth, but that's not your kid. You have no legal rights to say anything, do anything, cry, moan. You made the sound decision to not comply with the rules to get them back. So how is it everybody else's fault?
But your own. That's it. Period.
And that has nothing to do with you being a ward of the state. It doesn't.
Only talk about what makes you feel good, makes you look good. You got to talk about everything. You got to lay it all out.
Yeah, I respect you more if you just tell the truth. Hey, I fucked up. I was a dope fiend. I did this. I let other people keep my kids. My boyfriend, husband was beating my children. I stayed. I let them. I respect you more if you just tell the truth.
Right.
You don't have to agree. But tell the whole truth. Don't just dance around like you said, the part where, oh, they took my kids. So you just you just want people to think, oh, they were riding around in cloaks and daggers and they were chanting one night and said, come on, let's all get together and go into the public housing development and steal us some babies. You know, yeah, what was playing in the background? Thriller? Come on, stop this bullshit.
Right.
Sick of these people act, and then you got these crazy ass other people that act just like them. They don't understand. They stole those kids, and I know they just went and stole them in the middle of the night. They just broke into their house, stole their kids. What are you talking about?
Everybody has to know better than that.
Oh my God, the state went in her house 4 times, so 4 separate times, and stole her kids. Okay.
But then take the 2 oldest ones. Don't take the 2 small ones.
Ooh. Dun, 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 dun,
mention the broken bones in the presence of the mother.
And ask yourself how you break that. I'll wait. How can it be broke? I can't walk.
And at the age of that child, I mean,
3 months old, you probably ain't even turning
they're
over.
Be rambunctious, but let's
said?
be serious.
Yeah.
3 months old, you ain't even turning over. So how your whole leg get broke?
No, it doesn't happen. It just doesn't. And like,
you're not even scooting at 3 months.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't happen. And like, it's crazy.
On the way you scooting at 3 months, mama put some steroids in that Enfamil.
Right.
Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Your ass had some steroids.
Right. Mm.
Mama knock you out, baby up. You wake up, you got a 3-month-old cooking an egg in a kitchen. I don't think so. Come on.
This is why you gotta take care of your kids. If you're gonna lay up and have kids, and you want to be grown, you gotta act grown and take care of your kids, and don't put your kids or yourself in this type of situation. Point blank, period. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. Yes, because stop blaming other people. Just gotta stop that.
Yeah,
Gotta own your part.
Stop. Come on now. My kids have kids and they're not going through this. You know,
like I said, everybody make mistakes is what I said, but you can't explain 4 times. I don't care who you are, I don't care what you've done. You can't logically explain it because there's no logic behind it because there's proof in the pudding. You just want to dance around it for people to feel sorry for you. Mm-hmm. But the only people feeling sorry for you are people of like minds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody that's living the same way you're living.
Yeah, and the system is flawed, because it's ran by man. Of course, it's flawed, but not every freaking case is the state's fault. Yeah, do they drop the ball? Sure, they do.
Okay,
but not in every case.
Well, let's talk about this since everybody want to talk bad about the state. The state is, you got different state agencies all over the United States. You can't group them all the same. They're not even ran by the same people. So let's talk about this for those that think they know every damn thing. So, well, what about the cases of the kids who got sent back to their mommy and daddies and they ended up dead? I'll wait. How many cases we've seen on the news as of late? The mama and daddies got their kids taken away and the state gave them back.
Yeah.
Like the case in Houston with the dead baby in there for 11 months in the room with his brothers and sisters.
They've
been returned to their mom and daddy. You don't talk about that.
And not to mention you ruined your other 2 kids for the rest of their life.
You don't talk about that. How nasty the state. They're evil. They're horrible people. They're with the Illuminati. They're with the Masons. Well, the Masons gave them free pass and let you get your fucking kids back at one time and you killed your damn baby. How about that?
Mm-hmm. It's damned if you don't, damned if you do.
A lot of kids that ended up dead, they were returned to their caregivers. Right. So miss me with the state. They're horrible people. You can't speak for every state agency. You can't speak for every supervisor. You can't speak for every social worker. Everybody's case, social worker, supervisor is not the same.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I'm very interested to know what the vetting process was for Jacqueline and
well, I read all that information to you all. did that.
I mean, like, what paperwork, whatever, will come out, and because clearly they are not fit to be.
Well, that's the whole point of a story. The motherfucker that gave birth wasn't fit. So what's your point?
Because these are supposed to be foster parents, adopted parents.
You laid down 4 times and wasn't fit. So we're supposed to be clapping and wagging our tails. Oh, they're in foster care. They're better off. You don't know people. That's the point.
In order to be a foster parent, or
let's say this. Let's just say this, Brittany. Somebody gave the okay to Jacqueline and Trezell. You can't go back.
But that's bullshit. I mean, it is.
No, it's not bullshit. It's not bullshit because they already told you they don't even have criminal records. So nobody can even throw that up and say, "Oh, you gave them a pass to a felon to a this." They don't even have criminal records. Mm-hmm. So obviously, whatever they did or said, somebody said okay. Who am I to argue with what they agreed to? Can't argue with that. You may not like it, but you can't argue it because you don't have proof that somebody bypassed anything. Just because they killed the kids don't mean they didn't pass all the criteria to get the kids. It's just like what they say about moving into an apartment. The people move into the apartment may not have a criminal record, which got them into the apartment, but that don't mean they're not going to act a donkey's ass once they get the damn apartment. Mm-hmm. You see that all the time. You get a criminal record. They check your criminal record, your credit, right? To move into an apartment. Mm-hmm. You move into the apartment. Oh, you comfortable now. So here comes the trafficking, drug trafficking, doing this, hollering, hooping and hollering, keeping the neighbors up. Here come the reprimands. But guess what? Nobody may have had nothing bad to say about you in the beginning, right? Because you seem like a really nice person. You were kind. You said yes, no, yes, ma'am. You didn't have a criminal background. Everybody knows that's the game. You don't get the record till you get the apartment. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just keeping it real. People usually
you're exactly right. I mean, you really are.
When they get in somewhere.
It's just sick to think, the life they lived before.
Brittany, you're thinking of the logic behind it. You can't put logic behind wrongdoing. That's where the problem is. You don't know people. Nobody knew that Jacqueline and Trezell were this evil. I'm sure there's people that still today would probably say they were good people to their knowledge. Because what did I tell you the other day in the live? There's always somebody that will speak highly of a person that has done something heinous. And they'll still be supporters even though they know they fucking killed those kids.
Yeah, because literally I rewatched their interview today and I watched this bitch say, went missing out of our yard. Like, how? Like, no, I'm done. Like, everything they said, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Okay, well, look at Chris Watts. I watched that damn documentary on Netflix. That is the creepiest documentary ever made by him.
That's a great documentary, though.
When you show her text messages, I get creeped out every time I think of that documentary because I'm now looking at text messages from a dead person. You understand what I'm saying? These are things she was texting her husband, trying to get an understanding from her husband. He was very mild-mannered in every text message they posted up on that fucking screen. That's the diabolical I'm talking about. He didn't even flinch. Never, hey, whore, bitch, motherfucker. None of that. He was, okay, all right. You understand what I'm saying? And then one night you come in from out of town, he kills you and those fucking kids and throw you in the damn oil tank. So that's what I'm talking about. Who knew he was that way? Right. Name one person that'll vouch and say, yeah, I knew he was a killer.
Nobody. No one ever says that about him. Not
exactly.
Ever.
Nobody. So that's the point. You probably got people right now that'll still tell you Jacqueline and Trezell were nice people. That's my point.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember one thing. Nobody's come forward to say that they were bad people, which I find interesting.
Did they have friends? Did they have anyone that were close to them other than their parents?
No, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You still knew somebody that could say, yeah, she was nasty. Yeah, he was mean. Somebody.
But did we ever see any of those people? Because I don't remember seeing anyone other than.
But see, you're not listening. You're not listening. It doesn't matter. There's still somebody that they knew.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Yeah.
So that's my point. Why wouldn't somebody come forward and say, yeah, we had an altercation. Yeah, he was snippy or she was snippy or something. You had nothing. You don't find that strange? Not one person had anything good or bad to say.
Right.
Not neither.
Yeah, that is strange.
Well, somebody says, do they have friends or people afraid of them? I don't know, baby. Could be. Maybe that's some of the 50 witnesses. I don't know.
It was interesting to hear that one neighbor say how they always backed up to the door the certain way or whatever.
I thought, see, old people watch everything. I tell anybody, you want to get fucked up, have an old neighbor.
Exactly right.
They ain't never got to tell you they watching. Oh, but they watching. They know how many times you went to Costco, how many times you checked the mail, what color dress you had on yesterday. You understand what I'm saying?
That's how they caught the grand jury over there. Yep,
get to somebody and watch they slip up something about your personal life. I saw that little white pull up. He sat outside for 15 minutes. Excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry. I remember somebody asked me that months back. This your friend? Watch. What the hell you doing watching? Worry about what I got going on. Is that my friend or my son? I don't know. I don't usually kiss my sons in the mouth, but I don't know. Maybe I'll ask him. What the hell? But you get what I'm saying? Always a nosy Parker.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Those people didn't talk to them because they let it be known they didn't want to be bothered. But that man now, after the fact, has something to say. The lady with the blonde hair, she had something to say about her parents' house that faced the backyard. People are always watching. And it ain't even that they could be nosy. They just notice, oh, I don't ever see anybody over there, you know.
Well, and it would have been interesting to actually hear the parents talk of the blonde lady with them having a pool. I was just looking like with them having a pool outside.
Let's talk about what was said by the neighbors. Okay. I find it baffling that you've moved all the way out to the middle of nowhere and you still wouldn't let your kids play outside. You can't blame COVID because outside in your yard it would still be safer than just walking around Walmart or Chuck E. Cheese.
Right.
And I don't let them on the dirt. Yep.
So what, Brittany?
I said, and he don't let them on the dirt.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he made sure he said that, huh?
Because I had to practice. Ask yourself how many times he practiced before going live.
Every time he practiced it, he didn't get it right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The scary part is some say they saw kids, some say they didn't. Then he says, yeah, I did see a few, but I can't say it was the smaller children. I don't think it was the smaller children. So what you have to ask yourselves is the obvious. Why were your children not playing outside in those months? Because California weather is warmer than anywhere in the United States besides Florida and Louisiana. Let's stay woke. September, October is warm in California. Why are your children not outside playing? We are way out of the months of COVID. September, October.
If they didn't let them play in the front where the other neighbors would have seen them, you would think even in that enclosed backyard.
You're not playing in the front, you're not playing in the back. Then we have somebody from Casa Loma way before you moved said they would stand in the window and look. Okay, what's the problem there? Stay woke.
That broke my heart, really.
That's where the word, listen, that's where the word grooming comes into play. What were you grooming your kids for? To keep them inside. Stay woke.
And there was one man that gave an interview that I don't remember the exact company, but he said he worked for like I want to say a juice box company. I don't know, some sort of juices and whatever. They got extra. And so he would give them to the people in the neighborhood. And he said like there was a few times he tried to offer and they wouldn't even talk to him. And then there was finally one time that Trezell took it like, I want to say his kids were one of the ones that said that they try to talk to them through the window. Like that is pitiful. What would you be doing with 6 kids inside of an apartment? Well, you don't know how many bedrooms they had. They probably had about 4 bedrooms. So you can put bunk beds in a bedroom. If they're big enough, you can put 4 beds in a nice sized bedroom. Tori says grooming. Yes. Okay. Somebody said something in the chat I wanted to address. I can't see who it is. What I'm trying to figure out is one, why did you only adopt boys? Stay woke. Why did you not ever get girl children? Where are these women's children? You got to address all that now. Okay.
Why are your children looking out of a window and never playing outside? Why you move all the way to Cal City? What was the reason for buying a fucking house in the middle of the desert? Why are your children not outside playing in warm months? There's something sinister about Jacqueline and Giselle West. Y'all better wake up.
Do they still own that house?
Let me tell you something about Queen. Queen's good at recognizing game. It's deeper than what we think. It's deeper than just he let the kids beat the kids. I'm gonna put money on it.
Okay, so I hate to even like mutter the words because it's so disgusting.
Don't mutter them here. Then don't mutter them here.
That what they allowed a child to beat another child. That's completely disgusting.
Yeah.
But
can you imagine typing that on a computer?
No, like
you have to be gagging while typing that. You hear what I'm saying, Krista? What is the person that typed up that memo on the affidavit for the indictment? What was that person thinking when they typed it? Because you're typing that shit. You got to be saying to yourself, I know I did not just put that into this computer. What the hell did I just put into this computer? That's some sick shit, man.
Unbelievable, man.
And I'm scared. I'm going to be truthful with you. I'm scared to see what's going to come out in court. I am very fearful.
Like you said, might not want to know.
May not want to know.
I think
because the way she talked in that press conference, she's confident as a you-know-what.
To not have a body, she's confident.
So that leads me to believe what I'm already thinking. Them motherfuckers taped it. And who wants to sit there and watch somebody get beat to sleep? I didn't like what they did to George Floyd. You think I want to watch somebody beat a fucking toddler?
No joke.
That's crazy.
A child beating a child, you taped it. Just think about that for a second. So now that child's got enough rage in him. Now he is a spawn of Jacqueline and Giselle. Stay woke. We're talking about some dangerous shit right now. No, all jokes aside, that boy is a product of Jacqueline and Giselle. They better be very careful now. He's not even safe around children because he let himself go that far. And he knew better as a child. I'm not trying to say, put full blame on a child, but at some point you have to tell that child had to know this is not right, me beating this baby.
I can't even.
Oh, Lord have mercy. God, I'm going to throw up.
I can't imagine a child at that age.
I can't got time. I'm getting sick to my stomach right now.
I can't even put it in my mind to even think.
That's the reason why I got nervous. That's why I got nervous when you sent the message earlier, because I was saying to myself, because I seriously thought when you sent the message earlier, I said, damn it, they killed themselves. That's the first thing I thought. I said, them motherfuckers killed themselves in the cell. And then when I opened it up, I said, damn, what the hell is this? I said, oh, Lord, please tell me. We're not going to go around the corner with something new with these people. Who's to say these aren't baby killers? Because let me tell you something. I'm going to go ahead and share this with the chat because I feel like I need to go on and say it because the person was on the panel. I try to respect all of you all's comments. I know sometimes I can get a little jiggy when y'all speak, but I don't mean no harm. But something that the lady said that's very valid, because I'm going to go on and honor her comment, and she deserves to let me repeat it again. The lady asked me on the live the other night, do you think this is a revenge killing of the boys? And I said, I don't understand what you mean. She says, do you think that Jacqueline and Giselle knew of the bio mother and father, had some issues with them, and took it out on the children? So I had to think about that for a minute. I said, damn, that's a good question.
That's very interesting.
I said, I ain't focused on that because, so much time has gone by with the case. But you have a very valid point because to her, something was bothering her about them orchestrating these children to do that. So in her mind, that came to her mind. Is this personal?
So
what do you have to say about that, Brittany? Look, Heather, what Heather said, that's a heavy thought. You damn right, that's heavy.
It's heavy, but I pray my mind is remembering me right, because it's been a long time since I remember all the details. But I swear that I remember something being brought up at one point that Trezell and Jacqueline went to the same high school.
Yeah, well, they probably did, honey.
And that they knew each other type thing.
Look, everybody knows of everybody in the world at some point. Bakersfield is not that big. So you've crossed paths with a lot of people that you never went to school with. You know them from going to a shopping mall, a club, a bar. Young people hang out. Word gets around. You hang in the same neighborhood. You bump into them at the corner store. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe your cousin or brother teased somebody. You ain't never forgot about that shit. See, we don't know how deep this shit goes because there's something really off. It could just be these are off parents who were, he had a messed up, jacked up life with Wanda, Wawa, and Phil. He grew up a menace. He met this girl, baited her. She fell for the bullshit. He used those little kids as tyrants. He was a tyrant. He turned them into tyrants and had them kill those kids. But there's always that slim chance that it's more to it. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but who's to say he don't know these people and he felt some type of way. He heard things about them and then he realized, yeah, I got your fucking kids now. I don't know. People are crazy.
You're right.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
No, Tori, I've never worked with detention level 5. I have worked with group home boys. I've told the chat that. I have worked with juvenile delinquents. I've worked with boys and girls, mentally challenged, and men in drug rehab. So what's your point? She said, if so, you see this. So you saying they're fighting each other. Yeah, but we're talking about a personal house, Tori. Come on. It's not the same. These are babies. This is not juvenile.
And what provoked them to... I don't know. It's a lot.
Because he's sick. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. This shit goes back to childhood. You don't wake up one day and actually orchestrate your kids to beat another kid.
I mean, I believe...
Let's analyze it all the way down. This is his child, his children, his own flesh and blood. You're going to orchestrate your own blood to beat the children you brought in and foster and then adopted. Stay woke now. Why? Why would you do that? Because that's going to come out in court. And somebody's going to have to try to break that shit down because he's not going to ever testify. Everybody knows you never testify. Somebody's got to break down the reasoning behind him orchestrating his kids. So what is the reason the state's going to bring? So that means now the state's got to go dig in that damn vault and pull out shit on Wanda and Phil. Stay woke. Somebody's getting ready to get a lot of walkie. Look, let me tell you something. It's about to be a lot of walkie-talkies up in that court.
I think about them walking in those long black coats. I know that seems so irrelevant to the situation, being that, you know, kids have died or whatever. But, like, it's odd when you think about, like, it was summer and, like, I can't explain what I'm trying to say, but, like, I don't know what they're into type thing. But I don't know.
Well, that wasn't really summer when they was walking in them coats.
Yeah, that would have been.
That was short. You got to remember this, because we haven't seen anything from them yet. So that was probably what, February, March, maybe. It was still cold, but you got to remember California is warmer than here. The thing is,
something about that was so odd.
We don't know anything about him, the father, the mother. There are probably some weird ducks. I think that's obvious. We don't know how he was raised. We don't know the dynamics between he and his mother. You always have to remember that sadists usually have bad relationships with their parents, with their mother especially. When you see all these documentaries about serial killers, rapists, most of them don't have a good story about the mother. Usually she's a dominant figure, and that's what spawns the hatred for people, animals, livelihood. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I do believe he probably did not have the best relationship with Wanda.
And she's a feisty one.
When somebody starts digging into the vault, that's going to come out. Shit wasn't great with Wanda. I'll put money on that.
And I feel like that's obvious in her reaction.
Let me tell you what I think is probably the thing. Bet you she's probably got more feelings for the son under him. The one out out east. Stay woke. Somebody's going to tell it. Somebody's going to tell the dynamic between all these people, what his relationship was like with Wanda and his father, what his relationship was like with his brothers, who the mother favored the most, the least. Oh, that's going to come out. Everything they ever dreaded is going to come out. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to the story at hand. A woman has come forward to say that her boy children, 2 boys, were in the care of Jacqueline Trezell West at one time about 5-6 years ago. She lost custody of the children. They were adopted out allegedly by the 2, told to her by a court official. Tell me what you think. Are the allegations true? Are the children alive? Where are they? Sweet Jesus. I'm praying that they're alive because I don't want to hear it. Oh, man. That would be the clincher. That would be the clincher if we find out those fucking kids are not alive. Lord have mercy.
Yep.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And with being that those kids are older, so we can say that they were not the 2 that were foster. It's still interesting to me that the other parents haven't came.
Brittany, we don't know, honey. We don't know nothing. Because you got to remember, they were foster parents. They probably had 100 kids come in their care.
Okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is the kids that they had at the time that they went missing, the 2 other boys that were foster, not adopted. It's interesting that they wouldn't inquire because they're not technically adopted yet. They were supposedly fosters, but I don't know if that's a rumor either. So, but you see what I mean? Like, to know that
Norma says, wonder why Trezell's name isn't showing up on inmate search for Kern County. Well, make sure you're spelling it right. You got to put another L behind that L. I don't know, Scrambled Mind. Well, the state is not responding to the allegation. They're only saying that anytime they take a child or water the state or whatever, it's just cause. Okay. Heather says he would be in protective custody. Would that be true?
Probably, just like Don will, because they don't want him to get hurt because it's their responsibility.
Yeah, but him getting his name, we already know he committed the crime, so there ain't got to be no secret him having his name on the roster for the inmate.
Then it's probably not spelled right because 1 million people have posted it, so I would assume maybe the spelling's not right.
Damn, this is some sick shit. Okay, Pecan Pie says if he was moved, it may mean he's talking. Interesting. I don't know. Woo!
I'm sure there's 1 million posts that can give you like a number, like an inmate number or something. You could search. Someone could search him by.
Well, people had searched, so if they can't find them in the database, there's a reason. You got to make sure you spell the name correctly. Because so far, y'all been spelling his name wrong in the chat, calling him everything.
Yeah.
Everything but Trezell. Tercel.
Oh, so hold on.
My question was,
how about when I read?
Oh Lord, I can't. I'm just I don't know what to think. Okay, Scramble Mind says you don't even have to spell it. Okay. Oh Lord, this has got to be the wackest night in history. I'm serious.
Do you remember Jacqueline spelling her name wrong twice or 2 different ways in the interview?
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Don't say anybody's YouTube name in the chat, baby. She's saying somebody else's network. They can't find them in the roster. I don't know. Oh, they probably tired of you all calling, asking, is he in there? Some people bold, they'll call and say, do you have a such and such in custody? They might get tired of thousands of calls coming in. You know what I'm saying? Because, the average person that goes to jail, they don't have hundreds and thousands of people calling, asking, are they in custody? You're all right, Pecan. We just don't like mentioning names because it stirs up trouble when people start talking about people and people carry stuff out the chat and stir up trouble. So I don't need problems over here. Oh, my goodness. Well, it'd be nice to hear some other people's opinions pertaining to the situation. Rags, would you like to say something? She's a mod. I got to ask her, would she like to say something? This is crazy to me. Yeah, you're talking about thousands of people probably calling, asking me, is he in there? Is she in there? That would just be overwhelming. It's not like John Gotti got arrested. My goodness. It's like thousands of people.
Sometimes you would think that most people seen that it was no bail and all that kind of stuff today.
Say what?
I said you would also think that most people would have read the update that there was.
Yeah, if you follow the content, you're going to read to see if they say, yes, he's in custody. So I don't need to call to see if he's in there. They already said he ain't got no bail, so he ain't going nowhere.
But don't think I'm not going to look up to see if she had on a blonde wig. I know they're not.
Oh my God. Please stop. Who's to say it was her that had it on? It could have been his ass with a blonde wig on.
I can see that too.
Rags, what are you saying you don't know about the case? It's not a case. It just happened. Oh, Lord. Oh, hey, Dixie. It's an allegation. Sweet Jesus.
Post a link in there.
No, don't post nothing in this chat.
It won't around to, I don't think.
It's crazy to me. How in the world are we now talking about something else crazy? Jesus wept.
I don't know the law like that. But with them being married, if they are, would they not be allowed to have the same attorney? I don't understand the conflict of interest in that unless...
Tori, all you have to do is hit the link with your phone, sweetheart. Turn the camera off. You don't want to show your face. It'll guide you right on up. It's not difficult. You just hit the link. And it'll show mic, camera. You don't want to be on. Just hit the mic and that's it. I think they charged her too, so she would talk and get a deal. No, Heather, that's not true.
At this point, I don't know what type of deal
evidence. They said they have evidence. They said they have evidence against both parties, so it ain't about charging her too. They have evidence.
And with a deal, I would so much manpower and money and whatever else has been, spent on this case. I don't know what type of deal would be on the table.
Sunset, stop it. If you live nearby, you can sign up to visit them. Please stop. I don't think I want to visit them. How about that? And I don't live nearby. Let's see if we can bring them some milk and cookies.
Who done it?
Hello, who done it? How are you?
Hello there. I picked a terrible day to quit drinking, I can tell you that.
Wait a minute, you're having a drink?
I said I picked a terrible day to quit drinking. Listening to
stop.
I'm so confused.
Why are you confused? I don't know. Y'all don't listen. A lot of y'all will not listen.
I'm listening.
What are you confused about, ma'am?
I've been listening for 2 hours. I have been listening.
I wonder why you didn't say nothing in the comment section. I said, well, she ain't saying nothing. I guess she done went to fell asleep.
No, I almost did for a minute, but then I thought, no, I need to hear more of this so I can understand what's really going on.
Well, we'll play it one more time. Let's play it.
I do now.
Well, there's always somebody that likes to refute everything. So
okay.
I feel like I confused people because I really misunderstood.
That was all right,
the
Brittany.
thing is, listen, the thing is, they didn't clarify. Listen, they didn't clarify That's the point.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't clarify anything. She just said her kids. Anybody possession? No, those people have had probably at least 100 kids in their possession at one time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, over time, I mean. So you don't know whose kids has been in their possession. What other kids they've knocked off? I don't know.
True.
I mean, it could be
deep questions. Yeah.
You gonna play it again?
I'm gonna try. Let me see if I pull it up. Let's see. Damn. Come on, lady. Good boy. Jesus. This is the weirdest story I have been across in I don't know how long.
It's
the
sad.
story was crazy enough to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And now
this. This is such a mess.
Mm-hmm. It is a mess.
Yeah, it sure is. It's a big mess.
It's a knot to try to untie.
That state don't want to tell nothing. People are going to take this rumor and they're going to run it in the ground.
Mm.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let's see. Okay, you guys, here in a few seconds, it'll come up. Let's see. Here we go.
2 unrelated children in Kern County's foster care system to step forward with concerns of her own. 17's Robert Price spoke to the parents of 2 other boys who they say are lost in the system.
With the adoptive parents of young Orrin and Orson West now accused of their murder, another set of parents whose children were put in the care of the same people are asking, what about their sons? Virginia Williams says she has not seen her sons, Guillermo and Eleuterio Parra, ages 8 and 10, for 5 years. And at some point, she says, they were placed in the foster care of Trezell and Jacqueline West. That's the couple charged Wednesday in the alleged murders of Orrin and Orson, ages 4 and 3, after more than a year of investigation that included combing the desert around the West's home in California City. By that time, DA Cynthia Zimmer says Orrin and Orson had already been dead for 3 months, which leaves Virginia Williams in anguish. Where are her boys? She and Israel Munoz, the boy's stepfather, say Kern County Child Protective Services isn't giving them any answers.
We don't know where they are. I'm asking for proof of life.
Proof of life, a phrase usually associated with kidnapping. Williams says a court official told her in confidence that her son's initial foster care placement was with Trezell and Jacqueline West, and that scares her.
Been there 6 years now. They were adopted all out in 2018 to the West. And then from there, I've seen and heard nothing from them.
Kern County Human Services tells 17 News they can't comment on any aspect of Williams' story. Munoz says the whole system is unfair.
It's breathtaking, but that's how CPS does things. CPS will come in your house, they break up families that don't need to be broken up. And then they give these kids away like they're puppies. I mean, where's our constitutional rights?
Williams says the situation is part of a bigger issue, helplessness born of multi-generational incarceration. She says she was raised as a ward in the Los Angeles County court system from the age of 2. She has been to prison herself, and she says one of her sons, raised largely in foster care, has developmental issues that she fears will impact his life. And the chain continues.
My father and my mother went to jail for prison for murder. And I've lived with my grandma. Being that I am a ward to the court, every child that I have, by law, they have the right to take. Because I am a state baby. And this is the flaw that we should fix today. Because just because we are victims and we had no mothers, that should not hold above our head.
Guillermo and Eleuterio Parra, where are you? It's a simple question their birth mother would like an answer to. In Bakersfield, Robert Price, 17 News.
A footnote here, just before airtime, DHS responded to our request for a clarification. We were told that the children of wards of the court or those who were once court-supervised minors are not subject to removal from their homes without additional cost.
All right. I'm going to address some of you all's comments in the chat because I see y'all chitter-chattering. One person says bad taste. One person says 15 minutes of fame. Let's go here. In the end, you don't know people. So perhaps she came forward because she's telling the truth. I've been trying to find my kids, talk to my kids, whatever, but I can't. But the flip side of that is she knows the rules. Once the rights have been severed, there is no contact. There is no meeting with you, calling you to tell you anything because you didn't comply with the rules to continue to see your kids or get your kids back. That's what's missing from the story, is that she didn't tell everything that's needed, because naturally it would have been a winded interview, and they're not going to give you winded interviews first round on the news. Everybody knows that. This might be a 4 or 5 clip storyline, okay? That's the point. It's not enough information. She didn't tell everything. Did she tell them everything? I don't know. We have to wait and see if they're going to bring her back, if they're going to bring back more information. But that's the point. You got to tell us what happened for your kids to get gone. That wasn't mentioned. How old were you when they took the kids? See, she just says, oh, I was a ward of the state. They took them because I was a ward of the state. Well, nobody believes that, because I just read you information where they said they don't take your kids necessarily because you're a ward of the state and you have a baby while you're in the state. And I keep telling people that every situation is not the same. You can't judge all state agencies the same. It doesn't work like that. So what's left out is what they didn't show or what she didn't tell. The point is, she should have came forward when these children came to light that they were missing. That would have been the appropriate time to tell, hey, my kids are missing too, and they lived there and were adopted. Then maybe perhaps somebody could have been verifying her children's situation as well. That's all I have to say about that. Who done it? Go ahead.
Well, what you had said earlier, I don't understand how she left out the part of how she managed to lose 4 children one at a time.
Now you're going back to the old story. You're going back to the West kids. This is not their mother. Okay.
This is not the bio mother you're talking about. Okay, sorry.
You getting like Brittany now.
Well, it's girl.
Tori, your devices are connected.
I challenge anyone to hear all these details and not get a little bit confused. It's been confusing.
Dixie, I'm fine. Ain't nothing wrong with the queen. Ain't nothing wrong with me, honey. Not a thing. Now, what you say? Who done it?
Who's talking about they were a ward of the state? I thought that was the bio mother.
I already told you this story before I went live. Now, girl, I told you this is a new lady coming forward saying, my children also live with them, was adopted by them. This is a whole different human being.
A whole other person. Okay, well, see, I was off on the track that this was the bio mother and her and the children's stepfather. Lord have mercy, please.
I think everybody in the chat been drinking.
I am very sorry. Yeah.
So let's go here. You now know this is a whole different human being.
Yeah, okay. Whole different human being.
She brought forward.
Gotcha.
What do you think of what she said?
Well, I don't know. Stop it. Stop.
I ain't said a word.
I'm with me now. I know you are.
I ain't said a word. I'm trying to understand why y'all can't follow this script. Is what I'm trying to. Can't y'all act like Candace and Grandis?
Well, I'm doing my best imitation of them. You know, I don't understand why people don't believe us.
Beth has a good comment. Wonder how many more are going to come forward.
Well, clown car probably on the way.
Let me tell y'all something while y'all sitting here snickering. What if we're talking about a serial baby killer?
That's, I mean, what they've already done is very despicable. I mean, it's really no words to explain these.
Bernadette says another YouTuber had her rap sheet. She has child endangerment charges. There is more to her story. Well, I already know it's more to her story because she don't have rights to her kids. Look, Queen is woke. Queen is always woke. I just told you all she didn't tell how she got her kids gone. So I already knew it was more to the story. She didn't tell it.
I think it's interesting, her story, no doubt. But at the same time, it's like a 50-50. Like, I do think it's a little bit of
Well, my thing is this. No matter how she lost her kids, it's no different than the other dingbat that lost her kids. The point is the kids got in their care. The kids are now dead. So who's to say if perhaps she's telling the truth? The kids went in their care, and hell, they're missing too. That will be jacked up. Doesn't matter how she lost them, because that's water under the bridge. That's old. You can't do nothing about that. But let's just say for the record, what if these children somehow disappeared under their watch as well, and nobody followed through and followed up to check on them to see how they're doing? That would be worse. That these people have a pattern of knocking off foster care children. That's why I said this might be the first time in history you hear of somebody that's a foster care serial killer. Just saying. Not saying it's true. I'm just saying.
Which makes me always.
We don't even know that she has kids. Well, why would I go on TV and lie that I had kids?
I believe she has kids and they were in the foster.
I'm just gonna lie about that. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's, to get on TV or whatever else, I don't know. But that, I don't know, it's crazy. Because I always question, like I said, why they even reported the boys missing when they did.
Because somebody was looking for the kids, Brittany. I think that's obvious.
And I guess they had to be because, they were their children. They weren't considered fosters anymore. So, I don't know.
Yeah, so you don't know who's been talking. That's the point. That's what happens with true crime. You don't know who's in the background running their mouth. You don't know who's calling DHS. You don't know who's calling the police. You don't know who's gossiping about what you're doing. You don't know. Just like with the Wells case, you don't know shit about those folks. You don't know who called, who said what, who's been investigated for what. You don't know nothing because ain't nobody telling the fucking truth.
No. Now I'm starting to think that he was really playing with them and he got them right where what he wanted. Ronnie Lawson. I don't know. It's all. I don't know what to think with them. It's almost like you just can't think because, yeah.
Well, this is how I look at it. If we're now finding out that these nimwits coaxed their kids into killing some kids, you think I wouldn't think that them motherfuckers out in Rogersville didn't kill that little girl? Come on now.
Oh, I'm not saying that I think that at all. I'm just saying
a lot of people still want to keep riding on all this innocent and bullshit. Well,
they really do.
These people have been following a lie for a whole year, and now we're finding out they made some kids kill some kids. So ain't no way in the world I'm going to sit here and root for Candace.
You can say that again. Here,
come on now. Who done it? What you got to say?
I'm still trying to figure out which mother or adoptive mother
I can't deal with y'all.
You're talking about
a mother, a biological mother of a child.
Not talking about the bio mother of the West.
I know that now. So you're talking about
a news story, an allegation that my kids were taken from me and went into foster care with them, adopted by them, and are now missing. I haven't heard, seen from them. I'm wanting proof of life of the children.
Yes. Well, I'm just going to have to stand down because the origin of the story as it began tonight was suddenly this woman is jumping up. She had she thinks that her kids have now been adopted by these parents who are in trouble for killing their kids.
Heather,
that was where the story started tonight. That was where I was picking up.
Heather, what are you in the chat talking about sources and authorities about what? If you got something to say, just say it. We don't even know who you are. Hell, are you Putin? What are you saying? Oh, my God.
So, do you see where I got turned around in that story? Because I don't know if something happened between when I left the chat and joined you.
You want to donate some money to him, to his Cash App? Oh, my God.
Oh, Lord.
Go ahead, finish.
I probably should wrap some duct tape around my head to keep it from exploding at this point.
Well, there probably will be somebody that'll donate anything to him. All you got to do is go buy money on the card and put money on the card so he can call people. That's why I keep trying to tell everybody. Just because somebody kills somebody don't mean there's not people that will not support them. Come on now. You got people supporting that bullshit in Robertsville. So what's the difference with this case? It won't be.
All day long.
This is a mess. This is some utter buffoonery. Oh Lord have mercy. I'm just like, it's like a bad joke, is what it is. It's like I'm waiting for somebody to tap me on the shoulder and say, gotcha. Gotcha. Well, y'all awfully quiet.
I will say I'm glad to see there's some sort of conclusion that they have brought. Obviously, they have something, because I really wondered if there was ever going to be anything. I never knew of you two.
Well, let's just talk about the obvious. I've already talked about this 2 nights in a row. My problem with right now the investigation is you had knowledge of some bullshit week 1.
Mm-hmm.
And you waited a year to arrest these people and have the nerve to put up an indictment and tell, listen, you have a nerve to bring up an indictment and put that bullshit in that indictment about these people making their kids kill kids. If we're to break it down in layman's term.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
Something wrong here. There's something off.
And I don't know if it was the evidence or whatever, everything they were waiting on, because I know that there's, everybody's entitled to a speedy trial. And once you charge them, that starts the clock before, you have your certain court dates or whatever. So I have to make sure they have certain evidence in place. I don't know. But yeah, if they knew that something, clearly they took the boys all the kids the first night.
They did take them.
Which with me following this story so long has always made me question Summer's case as well. Like, to know. I guess they really rolled with the fact she was abducted. Even the police at one point. I don't know. Because to think how long it took them to, be taken out of the house is absolutely crazy. I don't know.
See, that's why something was wrong when they went in the house night 1.
Had to be.
That tells you everything you need to know. And this ain't like that Hollerville shit. They saw something wrong.
Because the first thing I'd be like, let me see the presents you were wrapping, Jacqueline. All those things.
Listen, Brittany, they didn't have to. Didn't have to. I ain't got to ask you that. I'm in your house. I'm standing there looking. You forgot?
They probably didn't have a damn tree.
That's what I'm saying. You don't even know what they saw when they went in the house, but whatever they saw immediately alerted them to take the children. It's just like what Brian Wong asked Chief Walker. I've covered many cases. He says some people have children missing. They did not, law officials, take the children out. And he told them, we do not have jurisdiction to remove children. The state removes the children in the state of California, not us. So that tells you a lot. It tells you a whole lot. But they saw something very foul night 1.
I honestly feel like the whole situation is a little odd and peculiar to make somebody want to question it. I've always thought that with their age and it all boys.
Look, when Politan first talked about the story on Court TV, he said in a very diplomatic fashion, young woman, 6 kids, that's a lot.
It is.
32 years old, you got 6 kids. That is a lot to take on. And you got to remember, then she wasn't even 32.
Right. That's odd. And maybe I'm just different. I have a child. I love my child to death. I don't want no more, but I love him.
People have babies young, but his point is you're talking about a house full. It's a difference. You're not talking about one kid at 30. 2 kids at 30. You're talking about 6. That is a lot.
6 boys. I mean, and I've always found it, of course, the fact they were all boys odd. And then you hear this lady say that her 2 children were boys as well.
Who done it? What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm just sitting here thinking. I came up to comment on the first part of the story, and didn't realize y'all had moved to another.
We're not. Well, maybe they're connected. That's the point. They are connected allegedly.
Well,
that's why y'all are confused. Is because
no,
you got to listen. The cases are connected. These people have been arrested for killing the kids.
Yes.
This woman's coming forward saying, hey, they had my kids and I don't know where they are.
Yes. And I was coming up to comment that if I understood you correctly earlier when we were talking, the woman who has come up of late, what did she have 4 children taken away, or is
That's the bio mother, dear? That's the bio mother of the children that are dead. The bio mother of the dead kids had a total of 4 children.
Okay.
Who are now living. They are older.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So it's the adoptive mother who had 4 children taken away. Is that?
Oh my God.
Look, that's why I'm confused. The bio mother.
Y'all don't listen to me when I'm talking. Listen, baby. Just listen. The adoptive parents have 2 biological children. They had a total of 6 kids in their house. 2 biological, the oldest. 2 adopted, which are dead, and 2 foster children. 4 children were removed from their house that night.
Okay.
When they came to do the investigation. The biological mother of the dead kids has a total of 4. 2 are dead and 2 are raised by their fathers, separate baby daddies.
Understood.
Okay.
It's clear now. I apologize. When you explained it to me earlier, that's when I first got it wrong.
Okay.
So all night I've been trying to make sense of what I misunderstood.
So you do understand now. A new
I do. I get it now. I totally get it now.
Her 2 boys are missing to her knowledge.
Yes.
She lost custody through the state.
Yes.
These 2 people had the kids and adopted them from what she was told by a court official. So this is why she's talking to the news. I'm asking you, what do you think of what she has said?
Well, I think that they have they forfeited their rights to know, is what I think. Nobody owes them an explanation. Her an explanation.
That's why the state has not responded to the news. The only thing they said was, we don't take children without cause in the conversation.
Yeah. There's a reason why you lose your children. There's a reason, a good reason. The state really doesn't want them.
Nope.
So they're going to have a good reason to get them. So that's the missing part of the story, if I followed this conversation at all tonight.
Well, you know, the question is going to be, why didn't you come forward last year?
Yeah. Why now? What's the point now?
I don't know.
I think there's a clown car making its way around the country.
Well,
jumping off everywhere.
By the time it got out to Cal City or Rogersville, that bitch ought to ran out of gas.
They needed a train.
Gas is high, almost $4 here. That clown car going to sit real still. It's going to sit right up there on that mountain, that damn school bus.
Yep. Yeah. They need
your car. Can't put no gas in.
This is probably, honestly, no joke, almost $5 there now.
Can't put no gas in it. Wow.
Yeah. It's going to be stranded real soon.
Very, very wicked stuff going on out there in California.
Well, yeah. The world is evil.
It is
a lot of evil people in the world.
It is evil. And it's I can't wait to see what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm sure I won't even get a good day to myself tomorrow.
I bet you don't.
Because it'll be ping, 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 ping.
Mm-hmm.
Ping, ping, ping. When I see the flames coming out the phone, I just get burned.
Girl, they will be burning your phone down tomorrow.
Ping, 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 ping. Just let it burn. Beth, you're right. What's next? Hey, I'm waiting. I'm telling you. If you get ready to tell me we talking about a little serial killer, somebody shut your mouth.
I'm not.
Guess what? Because let me tell you something. You don't know Jacqueline and Trezell, and you will be mortified. You will be mortified if you find out those two aren't the only two.
From the prior coverage that you did, do you know
who's to say I don't really like little black kids? Stay woke.
Good Lord.
Well, I want to say something. I'd rather say that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I can say it. I'm black. I can say it.
No, there was something I heard today that broke my heart.
Listen, self-hatred.
Yeah.
That's why I know Wayne Williams killed those black kids in Atlanta. That's why I know Wayne Williams killed those kids in Atlanta. He didn't like low-income people. He was raised with 2 school teachers, well-educated black people in Atlanta. He wasn't around regular people, regular black folks, low-income black folks. He despised them. I know he did. I feel that. You can tell the way he talked, the way he carried himself. He thought his shit didn't stink.
I think that showed up in some of his psychological profiles that they did on him.
He was a narcissist, and he thought he was better than most people. He thought he was a different caliber of black person. He killed them fucking kids. Don't you find it funny? It's all low-income black folks that were dead floating in the damn water.
Right.
Come on now.
Yeah. He thought those people were an extension of himself, and he didn't realize everybody stands on their own 2 feet. Black, white, red, yellow, it doesn't matter. You are your own person, judged on your own merit, not your skin color, not your ideologies, but just who you are. Whether whether you're living up to your full potential or whether you're wasting it.
Now that I sit here and think about it, could be on to something. That's why that damn boy was shooting them homeless people down there in Florida a month ago.
Yeah. Same sort of
nice looking Hispanic boy, educated, looks educated enough, let's say, but let's just say he looked nice. He had a decent job as a realtor. They got him on camera killing innocent homeless people. Why? You know why? Because he probably thought, you're bringing down the property values of the neighborhoods. This is my livelihood. This is how I make money.
Yep.
Right. Yep. Oh, yeah, Rags. It sounds like, what was that? Chaotic Truth or whatever it was, that only only well-bred people.
Well, but you have people that think like that. You have white people that think like that. You have Hispanics think like that. Jewish, Irish, Arabic, Muslim, African-American. You have people who would never even sit at the table with somebody that was low income. They won't even hold a conversation with you.
No, and I truly believe that it doesn't matter how the person was raised. I really.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got a rabbit ass cousin out there.
As we had that nut that was up here the other night, he let it be known. He talked all that shit. We don't even know it's the truth, but him probably a big ass liar. But the point is, there are people who will not mingle with lower income people. You got people that's like that all over the world.
Well, I mean, so on a certain level, yes, you want to surround yourself by people that are doing better than you because you always want to do better. I understand that. But at the same time, I don't know.
Never what?
I don't believe in belittling up people and things like that. I don't know, especially because
we already know how the world is made. People have been thinking like
that. It's sad. It's sad. It's very sad.
A lot of people like that. They ain't gonna never tell you to your face that hey, don't bring no low rent ass person around me. Don't bring nobody that lives in the projects around me. Don't take me to their house, to their family reunion. I don't want to go. I don't want to be around them. They don't got to tell you. And some will. They'll tell you to your face. I don't hang around no low income people.
That's like only want to hang around with best in show.
Yeah, you look good. You're educated.
Yeah,
make got a nice car. Your car ain't this year. Don't bring them around me. You don't drive a new car. I don't want to get in your car. I don't want to be seen with you.
In my experience, people who've been kind of wannabes and they've been climbing the social ladder, they're the very ones who think like that. They're you know, I know a lot of different kinds of people on a lot of different
Beth is funny. Beth said, what is low income these days? Yeah, because I heard the middle class is obsolete at this point.
We're all low income.
So you're either working class or upper middle. Yeah, that's it. You're either working class or upper middle. That's true. It's very true. They said that the middle class is obsolete now. I mean, we know there's people that make a decent income, but when you get through paying your bills, you probably feel broke. You probably don't feel like you're middle class if you still down there going check to check.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Gold-plated turds. Dear God, I'm dead. Somebody says, my sister once said she doesn't like poor people. She become an SW and works for CPS. Well, a lot of people work like that. I met a woman that was like that. And she worked with, indigent program to help people get medical. And it was a short time later, she died. She's too busy worrying about who work, don't work. That's not your business.
Right.
Your job is to help sign people up to get medical care.
Yep, you're exactly right.
If you felt like that, you shouldn't have been in that line of work. And then to repeat it to somebody, that's cold-blooded.
One of my first jobs was for our health department. I would watch girls come in with purses and nails, their hair's done, and I'm running their eligibility checks for pregnancy tests. But it is what it is. That you can't.
Right, because that's the point. You can't say anything because it's not your place to say anything. You can think what you want, but you're not supposed to say anything.
And I can.
You don't really know what's going on with people too. It's easy to judge people, but you don't really know what's going on. Just because somebody walk in with a diamond ring, you don't know they could have lost their job. They could have been fired. I saw that once with a lady who worked at an agency, signing people up for temp work. Next thing you know, she's in a program for people that's not working. So see, you don't never know what you're going to be in.
Yeah.
She probably never thought she was in a class with, lower income people. But that shit happens.
Monica, that was a point I was trying to make a while ago. Fake rich or new money act the worst. It's the truth. Wannabes and social climbers are the first to look down.
No, Heather,
on
no such thing. Thinking social workers, no, those could be the nastiest people grilling you about what you get, don't get, and you're sitting there thinking, damn, am I on trial for murder or what? I mean, there's people like that. They've taken a position and they're letting it go to their head. And they're not living no better than the people that they're grilling about their income.
Yep.
You're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to just ask the questions and keep it moving. You don't so grill somebody about what they get, don't get, and I got to verify this. Now I'm going to call the people. Okay, what's the problem? Call them. Damn. But there's people who take their jobs serious. They take it past the point. And there are a lot of people who are in positions of helping people, but they're really not in it to help them because they'll ask you things that you're not supposed to be asking. You're not supposed to, certain questions you're not supposed to be asking people if they're coming needing housing, a home, clothes, whatever. It's a way of talking to people. And if you're asking them personal stuff that you're not supposed to be, you're not in the job for the right reason.
No.
You're trying to figure out, why are they really here? It's not your place. Not your place. Because you got someone would probably say that. You walking in there trying to apply for food stamps and you're sitting there with 2 diamond rings on. Well, you don't know what happened before the diamond rings, after the diamond rings.
Right.
It's jewelry.
I work in healthcare and we have a customer service team. And my motto has always been to tell them, our elderly patients, you treat them like you treat your grandma. Because they don't understand, and it's just crazy how rude. And it gets annoying. Yeah. But
you just don't never know what people are going through. Let me tell you something about the rich. I've seen people who live, there are people who right now will go buy an expensive house and don't have shit in there.
Right.
What are you going to go get 6,000 square feet, 5,000 square feet, but you can't even afford to put a damn sofa in there? It's just to say I got the house. It's all the same. It's all the same. You can afford the house. The bank approved it, but you really can't afford to put furniture in it. And everybody knows if you're going to get a house with a lot of square footage, you got to put something in it to ground it to keep the heat and air flowing in there. Everybody knows an empty house will run up your light bill. For those that did not know that, they'll tell you that. An apartment, fill that bad boy up to ground the heat in there. Keep the heat trapped in. The heat is just going to circle around in an empty room. But a lot of people don't know that.
Outward appearance.
So you go get this fancy house, but you can't even afford to fill the rooms up. You got guest rooms with nothing in it. So you got to shut the door naturally. So your light bill won't be high.
And that's a different kind of people as well, because you don't.
That's the foolishness of people living too fast, moving too fast. There's nothing wrong with buying a new house. You got the money. But the point is, with a new house comes new problems. And the bigger the house, the more it's going to cost. Taxes, putting stuff in it. And a lot of people don't think about that.
Maintenance.
All of that. But you're not planning that out. You're just thinking of the due bill every month on the loan. But not.
I miss living in an apartment where I could call a maintenance man when something broke.
Well, that's the best part about living in an apartment. Paying just the rent and the lights, and don't even have to pay a damn water bill. And God forbid you got a wash and dry hookup. Oh, you on Easy Street?
When things go, because my husband works out of town, so when things go wrong because we have a house, I'm like, damn. If we still had our townhouse, I could have just called the maintenance man. He would have been over here in no time. It's annoying. It's a lot.
That's the trade-off of being a homeowner. You might have a little peace and quiet, but you still got to pay for more stuff to be inside of the house. But then you got people who will tell you, I don't give a damn what it costs to live in a house. I don't ever want to be in an apartment because there's too many problems. See, it's a flip side to everything. Everything's about tolerance. What you will tolerate. That's life. What you will tolerate, maybe somebody else won't tolerate.
Well, the same thing applies to people. We've been socialized to just care about what we look like, not who we really are. What's our character? See, what's on the inside that we're maintaining? That
I love it. I love going down the street and I see a nice car like tonight when I was out and I was talking to Crystal. I said, "Girl, you need to see this man in front of me." I was at Burger King and this white guy, woo, baby, he was in a drop top. He was in a blue Camaro. I said to myself, ooh, nice car, but it's just a car, Liver.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just a car.
I don't know him.
Right.
He could be pulling up right now to a nasty apartment condo.
Could have been in his mama's car.
Or a house with 5,000 square feet with just a futon and a tray table.
Yeah.
Nothing but a bed.
You got men live like that. They can have high income. They ain't got nothing in their house but a tray table and a fucking recliner.
Yep.
And you're like, damn, are you gonna buy some furniture? You got an upper income. You won't put nothing in there. No, I'm all right. It's just me.
Can't even rent some furniture.
A lot of people live like that.
Yes, a lot of people do.
Don't want furniture. Don't want pictures on the wall. Don't want nothing. Don't want clean sheets. Don't want pillows. You just say to yourself, like, what is going on?
I take my bed really serious. The pillows, the sheets,
I do
all
too.
that.
Oh, I know mine because I'm sitting here right now with 2 baskets full of clean clothes in the baskets right here. And I'm looking at them. I don't play about them clothes in my laundry. But somebody else may say they don't care. So as I said, everybody's different. Everybody's different. You know, and it's true. We judge people. It's easy to judge people. You look at them like, oh my gosh, look how she's dressed, or look how you dress. God forbid they smell. That's a whole different ballgame.
Now, smelling is a different level. I've got a big issue with smell. That was one of my favorite lives you did one night.
Yeah.
But anyways, everybody, you can take a bath.
Yeah.
Like I will never understand stuff like that. That's hard for me to comprehend.
But let me tell you, those are the same people who have, once again, income to buy soap, towels, shampoo, and won't. In your mind, you're saying to yourself, why are you walking around here smelling? You have no reason to not take a bath, not wash your tail. But there's people like that. I mean, it's just, people just do weird stuff and they have the means to do better. Those are the kind of people that I don't understand. You have the means to do better and you want to walk around like a slop hog. That doesn't make any sense to me. You know, you're holding on to them coins. Like, what is saving money got to do with taking a bath?
Not a thing. There's no comparison to being no.
Oh my gosh, Heather, you're sick. COVID will fix your smell right up. Girl, you don't shut up.
That's funny, Heather. That's
God. Heather, you're sick.
Take care of that.
Oh, she said I ate a donut I couldn't taste last month. Well, luckily my little cake donuts, I taste them just fine. Thank you, Jesus. That's true, but she's right. Some people do lose their smell. That's true. Oh Lord. Okay. She said I have owned every car I've ever had. Well, that's a good thing. Oh, well, we'll pray for you. Hope you get better, honey. But you know, that's the thing about life. Everybody's different. But as far as like back to the subject, these cases, I don't know what to think about this new lady. I'm just going to wait out and see what comes out. I'm sure the news will bring an update pertaining to whatever they find or whatever she reveals. But that's the thing about a story. You don't know what's the truth, and people don't tell everything. Because it's just like when I tell you, a lot of people don't think the truth ever is going to come out. They just think, well, I'll tell this little bit of information. They're never going to know the truth. There's always going to be somebody that's going to come out and say that such and such is lying. That's why somebody in the chat just came and said, well, on somebody else's channel, she did this and this. Well, my thing is, that's why you got to give a timeline. Hey, I went to jail at this time. They took my kids. I wasn't able to get out to get my kids. That's when they stayed in foster care. By the time I got out, they'd already placed the kids permanently. You know, I lost my rights. She didn't tell us none of that. So I don't really know what's the truth.
Do you know, do they still own the house?
Somebody in the chat last night said everything's paid up. I don't know if that's true or not. But when they said they have $2,000 income, that kind of threw me off.
Just enough to cover the mortgage.
Yeah, but guess what? Where are you getting $2,000 from if you don't work? But see, we don't know. They may have gotten jobs. I don't know. Oh, wow. But how easy is their life living in a Winnebago, but then you're paying mortgages? See, something's off with this story. If I'm to believe that they still have the house, why am I going to pay for a house but be in an RV? Because the house is boarded up.
Right. And that's been for a while now. So
yeah, a whole while. So you're not living in a house. Why pay the mortgage up on it? Why not just go on and sell it? It's bad news anyway with all those people stalking around from a year ago. You're never going to have any peace staying there. So I would have put it up on the market. As soon as the story broke and you started seeing people hanging around the house, that was your cue to get rid of the house.
Yeah.
I don't see the point in keeping the house. And a year later, that's why, you know, these two might be into a whole lot more than we think, because that was already suspected anyway. Yeah, it's an eyesore. Frankly, the whole neighborhood don't look good to me because of that damn. It's nothing but sand out there. Big old. What do you call those tumbleweeds running by like they got feet? Man, that ain't a lookout.
Death Valley.
Hey, yeah, Death Valley. Give me some flower beds, some green grass. People pull up, they feel welcome. Like, oh my God, look at the flower bed. It's pretty. Look at the tulips. Ain't no tulips. Can't grow them out here.
They have to have rock gardens out there. They don't have. They don't.
I mean, that desert look. I'm telling you, one night it was early evening. This was probably. This might have been last year. Yeah, it's probably last year in the winter. A certain person was going live, I think. Either it was live or I just caught the video. So I was lying in the bed trying to listen to it with my eyes closed, but I was falling asleep. So eventually I fell asleep. But in my mind, I was still woke, listening. Some weird reason. Man, it was like the devil was wrestling with me, listening to their live, because I kept seeing the vision of that neighborhood. And every time I would wake up, look at the TV, doze back off, wake back up, look at the TV, doze back off. This went on for over an hour. I couldn't solidly sleep. I knew then it was the devil, because I told myself, why can't you just go to bed? You know what I'm saying? You're sleepy, but I couldn't fall asleep. And every time I wake up and look at the TV to see what he was talking about, he was showing that old stinking ass neighborhood. And I was like, man, that's the devil messing with me. I was like, man, cut that damn TV off.
Yeah.
I've had nights like that. Something about that neighborhood is just creepy to me. I don't like the fact that it's, like I said, there's no flowers, there's no grass, there's no trees, there's nothing. They live next to a vacant lot, for God's sake. That place is horrible.
It's just stark.
I don't like it.
Stark landscape. Yeah.
Yeah, we know it's less people in the area. They don't have nothing to do with you not having grass and trees. That's nothing to do with that. You don't have grass. I'm used to grass.
Yeah.
I'm used to seeing grass. I'm used to seeing trees. Even if it's winter and there's no trees, I know in a couple months there's going to be leaves on the trees.
Which is another thing that didn't help his story out, with it being so desert and dirt-like. There were no boys' footprints of them ever coming out of that gate.
And don't you find that strange? They would have mentioned all of that. Hey, we saw footprints, drag marks, car tire marks. That's why I'm telling you, they took them kids night one. Man, something they saw in that house.
And that's the sick part when you think about that he got in his van, or he turned the lights on outside, out back where they were supposed to be, and walked outside. You could see him on the camera, comes out, gets in his van, and drives down the roads, hits all the corners. And it was all for show. He knew those cameras were there.
See, but if you knew all them cameras were there, why are you backing the car up? Because you should know somebody's going to tell that, and somebody filmed that from the doorbell and the security cameras. He's not smart. He's not as smart as he thought he was.
No, I don't think he was as smart as he thought he was, but I do think that he knew those cameras were there, and that is one of the reasons he was backing the van up the way he was and letting the kids out and things like that, thinking that they wouldn't be caught on camera. But it was very...
Well, that old man told it. The cat's out the bag now. You're backing up to the door in the garage, secretly exiting and entering into the... See, he was up to no good. And he knew he was wrong by killing those kids. That's why he was doing that. He knew that. But see, that's the purpose in moving out there if you're going to be sneaking in and going out. How are you living freely if you're sneaking in and going out your own house? You're paying a note for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? You moved out in the middle of nowhere and you're now sneaking in and going out of your own house. That makes no sense.
I don't know. I would love to know that they find the boys, just to know that they have properly been laid to rest. But with the time frame, and I just don't see it happening. It's sad.
You don't see what happening?
I don't see them actually finding their remains.
Oh, well, you got to remember, this has been a Game of Thrones, so they've had months to...
That's what I'm saying.
They killed the kids. He dumped them somewhere where they wouldn't be found. He's lived a recluse life, so that means he was articulate. He was very articulated in dumping the children. You got to stay woke now. And then you move to the middle of nowhere and still playing a Game of Thrones out there in the neighborhood where you don't got the children outside, and you backing up shit to the doors to where nobody can see you entering. This man is sick.
Right.
It's too much work to do every damn day. Most people just pull up, shut the door, everybody get out the car, go in the house. It's a wrap. Who wants to be doing this every day, sneaking in and out of your own damn house? It's a terrible way to live. Hey, T, how you doing?
Hello, T.
Yeah, that man didn't lie. He probably did do that.
Well, it was interesting to hear the neighbors say that. I don't know, just by watching the video, I felt like that's just how it was done that day. Hearing the neighbors say that made it feel like that was the normal for them. If that makes sense.
We don't know. See, that's the thing about when people talk. If people don't specify, you're left wondering. And that's how rumors get started, because you're assuming something that maybe they didn't even say. He didn't say, every time I looked over there, they're backing up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I heard him say every day.
No, he didn't.
But whatever he did, it stood out to that man.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to ask yourself, if he did it one day, he's probably doing it more than one time. Because what's the point in just doing it one time? What's the difference on day one and then 2 days from now I don't do it? It's just creepy. All that shit's creepy to me.
Hey, Queen.
Go ahead,
Queen.
sorry.
Thanks for letting me come up tonight. I'm sorry I was got so turned around with that.
Don't worry about it.
Next time, if I'm confused,
That's okay.
I'm gonna stay right down.
What I was saying when I talked to you earlier.
I did that. I got confused when we talked earlier. Is why I was still confused.
But PK, we know that that's a lie now. There was never no wrapping gifts. This is what people don't understand about a person that lies. When you start trying to chop up something, these people had already told you they killed the kids. So whatever was said on that day, it's a lie. There's not you don't need to even worry yourself about driving around the corner, honking a horn, and all that. It doesn't even matter at this point. You understand what I'm saying? Because now that you know the kids are dead, anything said on that day is irrelevant. He may have gotten the van and drove around the corner for 5 minutes. Nobody's going to care now they know the kids are dead. Nobody's going to care. Because we now know that whatever you did do, it was a ruse. You did it to set up the plot that the children were missing, to set up the ruse.
And it will only help in this case to show that it was all planned out. That will only help.
It's just sick. A very, very sick story. And I'm praying that no matter what's happened with this woman and her kids, it's principle. No matter how I want to look at it or weigh it, it will be jacked up if you find out those kids are not visible either.
Do you think, considering the circumstances of this case and what she's came forth and said, that they would at least clarify that they are living, just for the general public?
I would hope so, but they've already spoken. The state has already spoken. They told you, I'm not telling you nothing.
But at the same time, I feel like that was almost what she said was untrue. So for the news to play that and then question
what's untrue,
that because I'm a child of the, or what she call it, warden of the state.
That's a pity party move.
Right. So for her to say that and then for the news to question them, it's almost like, I don't know. It's all sketchy, really. Different types of people you're dealing with, I guess.
Well, I'm gonna say this. There's no rhyme or reason behind half of the shit that people do. That's just the way the world is. But it doesn't mean that what she's saying could not possibly be something.
I agree.
Fraudulent. See, that's the point. It could be some truth that these people did have access to her kids, adopted the children, and God forbid, worst case scenario, they ain't around either. We don't know.
Right.
Somebody's going to have to verify that the kids are alive and put the story to bed.
Right. And that's kind of what I was saying. Considering the circumstances, I truly hope that this will be cleared up, because that's not okay.
Because what's bad is the state is basically saying, hey, we ain't talking about it, but I can bet your bottom dollar they're going to check it, because they know whether they ever get sued, don't get sued, no payout, whatever, it doesn't matter. They don't want nobody to keep talking about that, because they already got 2 dead babies already that they've placed with these nimwits. So you don't need somebody else coming forward saying, hey, I'm in the same situation. Although I know, I lost my rights to my kids, but I've been trying to reach them for 5-6 years. They don't want to hear that. Because then that's whether the girl lost them from not complying, it's still a bad news story.
Right.
And Jacqueline and Giselle's names are wrapped up in it. It's bad either way.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully that'll be positive. They'll come out and clear it. I said, hopefully it'll be positive and they'll come out and clear it.
This is how I feel. Go on and tell it and be done with it. Say, yes, the children are alive, and no, they were never adopted by Jacqueline and Giselle West. But then the flip side of that's still going to be, she's going to still say, I still need proof. You saying it don't mean nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Because talk is cheap. Show me a receipt. And she'll probably say, I want to see a receipt. But then they can say, well, by law, we don't owe you an explanation anyway, because your rights were terminated, or you didn't comply, however it went. So what's going to be the proof to show that the kids are alive? You're going to have to verify a name of somebody that got them. And that's not legal. That's where the problem gonna come in. It's the verification. This is a mess. Yes, a whole can of worms to investigate. Do I think what? Someone provided a tip and will get the money. Honey, I don't know. That's a good question.
Reward?
That's a very good question about the reward money.
I don't even remember. I didn't follow. I remember the billboards and things like that, but I don't remember about the reward fund.
See, some of the reward money has stipulations on it. Some of the money, like from the police department, they said it's got to be a conviction before you can get that 25. See, everybody's portion has a stipulation. Some say they can have it, then some say no, I got to have a conviction.
Well, I would truly hope if there is somebody that had information, this would have been wrapped up a little sooner.
Julie, yeah, if it's true, if they can't verify the kids, yeah, they will be considered serial killers.
Yeah, and that's kind of scary to think about. I really hope that they will come out and clear something, because it's scary just knowing what you read in the affidavit.
Sunset said, I don't think it's against the law to know about a crime and not report it. Well,
I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, why do you want to know about a crime and not report it?
Wouldn't that make you an accessory?
But they can hold you after the fact if they find out you knew. That's where the law comes in. It's the after the fact. Show proof. We get proof that you did know.
Well, that's why I was a little confused at first when they were talking about there was only a charge for Giselle. I'm like, how does that even make sense that Jacqueline wouldn't be charged?
Well, nobody had got the information yet. She was arrested earlier before him, 8/16 or something, they said. I don't know. These are strange people, and it's sad that nobody came forward. Anything odd about these people, maybe these children would be alive. Somebody had spoke up and said they noticed something peculiar about them. But people are afraid to talk. People are afraid to say anything. Or they just don't want to get involved. I don't know if it's just fear. A lot of people just feel like, hell, it's not my business. I know a lot of people like that. They don't care about nothing. They're not concerned about what you're doing. They don't care about what you're doing. They don't care if you're selling drugs. They don't care if you're beating somebody. They just don't care. I know somebody right now, you can tell them something, it goes in one ear and out the other. They're not concerned. They don't care about nothing.
Well, I think it's a lot of not wanting to get involved. Because, I mean, you truly don't know. You may know that they're doing this one thing that's not so good. But do you really know they don't take care of their kid? I mean, like, I feel like I don't know. It's sad. It really is. But it's really heartbreaking to know that these people.
Probably DHS was inquiring about the kids because they still had foster children.
Well, and I really question, was it truly the COVID situation? Because that's kind of when it first hit, things like that.
That's what y'all don't understand. You don't know how long these people have been trying to notify them about. It could have been notifying about something basic, and they just didn't respond.
And that may be exactly why they had to report those boys missing.
Yeah, I think it's the state. I don't think it's a family member, none of that, because in the end they adopted them, so you don't have no rights to them anyway. It was probably the state. They probably wanted to meet with them, have a meeting about the kids, go over some things, and you couldn't produce them. You're welcome.
I don't know. I can't imagine thinking. I mean, people are crazy, really, these days, to think that you can get away with.
The state is calling you about something. They could have got notification from the doctor. The doctor could have said, hey, we're trying to get the kids in for a physical, anything. They won't answer. So then the state sent a letter. What are you going to do now? You've killed the kids. So now you got to come up with a reason. But see, what you're doing is you're making it worse for yourself. See, you ain't going to never know. And see, one can say, well, why are they asking about the kids? They're adopted. Well, they still get a stipend for them. So maybe they're still connected to the state on that level. I don't know. I don't have no idea.
I do feel like it's a lot of the money-driven side, but she seemed very reassuring, the fact that what she has is solid and that it was 3 months prior. And then everything that they played out in their stupid videos, that one I think that hopefully will be enough to.
What video? What are you talking about?
Just in their one interview, knowing that they apparently, without the bodies, have concrete evidence that it happened 3 months prior. And
that's
then
somebody told you got a date on something like a timestamp.
They have to.
That's why I said they had to have filmed it. Because you now want me to believe that a kid remembered the date.
Oh, no way. There's no way.
Yeah, he had been a very smart kid that kept up with things to say, yeah, it was between the month of the date of the 1st and the 30th.
No, I don't believe that at all. I'm interested. I am very interested to know.
Whatever it is, it's spooky as hell. I'm gonna say that.
Oh, definitely.
It's very spooky. Because when I read that September 1st to the 30th, I thought to myself, this ain't good.
No,
she's not got a date, a whole month of a date. Bad,
and I'm interested to know, like, with the DNA that they had requested or whatever from the dad or whoever it was, like, was that used? I mean, I can.
Yeah, to confirm. You got to ask yourself, what was it compared to? If you don't have a body,
that's what I mean. Could it be saliva? Could it be whatever? You don't know. It's scary. I don't know.
She said you'll find out. That's what she said. You'll find out in the trial.
I sure hope it's televised because I don't know.
They may not televise it, but they'll let somebody in to repeat it. They'll have to write it all down, which I wouldn't want to write all that shit down.
Oh no.
What Pookie said, Ray said. That's a lot of work. You're talking about 50 people testifying. You're gonna have forensic people, tech people, detectives, FBI. It's gonna be a mess.
No, and forensic, that's just it. If it's not a recording, somehow it's got to be forensics, and they're amazing. I mean, it truly is.
Well, what can the forensics bring a time from September 1st to the 30th? How?
I don't know. As far as timeline, I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't see how forensics can be involved with that because you don't have a body. You don't have a corpse.
It's odd. It should definitely be interesting. That is for sure. Because, like I said, they seemed very confident, and I truly hope so because I would hate to see them.
All I'm going to say is what I said in the live the other night. You just better hope you don't get one motherfucker that's jiggy.
And that's the thing. Like, the more I watch all this stuff on YouTube, I'm like, God, I don't want to be.
Scott Peterson is right now been in court. Have that girl testifying to get a new trial. So that's why I tell people anything is possible. Casey Anthony walked, Zimmerman walked, people walk because it takes one person to hang the jury. That's all it takes. And you better hope you don't get 12 to say, well, I don't think they did it. That's it. You don't know. You don't know people. Just like you don't know them. If they were people of this, you don't know the 12 people they're going to pick.
Right, and if we follow the protocol for everything, it's scary. It really is. But to think that for them, I feel that they're very confident. So they've got the date.
This is what I've been trying to tell people. I don't argue about what they have. That's not where the argument comes in. That's not where the argument comes in. The problem is the 12 members of the jury. Oh, that's something you don't have no control over. You can have all the evidence you want. Just like she talked all that stuff up there about, I got this. That ain't got nothing to do with the people that's going to weigh the issues. You don't have no control over the 12 people. Those people in Florida thought they had it going on too. They had the scientists from Oak Ridge, top lab in the world with the scent test. They debunked that right there. That ain't true. That ain't accurate. No, we ain't never had this done before. Well, everything had to be a first. Fingerprints had to be a first. DNA had to be a first. And we use all that stuff now. So he comes into court with this scent test. They debunked it. But it doesn't mean that it wasn't accurate. just because it was the first time used in court. So that's what the point I'm trying to make is, I'm not questioning what she has as evidence. That's not what I'm questioning. What I'm saying is, you better hope that whatever you got will stick with the 12 members. Because all it takes is for anybody to get frustrated, bored with what you're saying. Somebody thinks there's reasonable doubt. They get to hear another gossip. He said, she said. That's all it takes. Because you still have to believe that there's somebody that's going to believe these people didn't do this. I don't care if they're looking at it on a camera. Somebody could still say, no, that don't look like nobody coaxing no kids to beat no kids.
Well, right. And if you even want to talk about the camera with watching the kids walk inside, you could almost, I was scared to 100% believe that either.
Like, Crystal, call me. What you trying to say? I have a question. So why did they get the dad's DNA and not ask Ryan? I don't know. I thought they asked for both.
Probably didn't respond.
Say what?
I said she probably didn't respond to them.
Oh Lord.
I mean,
that case says, oh, they did at Crystal Moore. I didn't know that. I think that the story is different, just my opinion. Say what, Marilyn? I think that every story is different.
Every story truly is different.
I figured they would have asked her. How you gonna not ask her? She's the one that gave birth. That don't make any sense.
And I agree that they would ask her probably before the dad, but
because if she tell me they didn't, oh my God, please tell me no.
I mean, she's very busy.
Dizzy ass broad, man. How fucked up would that be?
I mean, we haven't heard anything from her since the dad has given the DNA. Nothing. Like, I know I haven't seen anything. It's really funny that neither one of them, like, this is what happened was a very big day. No, it wasn't good news, but
hey, can you speak?
Hello?
Yeah, can you say something? What the hell are you talking about? She didn't get it in there. How you know that?
Well, I mean, nobody said anything. I mean, maybe they did, but nobody. You
saying no in the articles? They ain't saying both. I thought they did. Yeah. I thought I heard in the beginning they said the bio parents. I thought they said that in the beginning. Maybe not. Heather says maternal DNA is easier to find. Yeah, I figured it probably would be.
Right?
Oh Lord.
In the interview you brought, it did not mention anything about the mother. Just the dad.
I cannot wait. This, you know what? If it was, I'm gonna shut my mouth. I don't put my foot in my mouth. What I want to say. I'm really tired of these stories. Because all these stories are the same to me. They're always about street people with babies.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm sick of. So then this is why people get mad and say, don't judge people. While other people sit up here and judge people, street people. This is why. That's why they get judged. Because you always got fucking drama. And I ain't saying that people that aren't wealthy and well off don't stay in shit. But this is why lower income people are always looked down on, because it's always something. It's always something. And it's always the worst stories like this. Just like Rogersville, just like this. It's always the same. Every blue moon, you may get a case of neglect from an upper crust family, but you don't hear of it a lot. And it ain't saying that they're perfect people. It ain't saying that they don't talk down to their kids or mistreat their kids. But I'm saying you rarely hear it making the news. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
This shit is whack, man. It's always the same. They wouldn't do this. They didn't do this. They didn't comply. Oh, they want to get high. They want to get drunk. Want to get turned up. Oh, they got arrested. They did this. It's all the same bullshit.
And it's very ignorant for them to go on the news and say things like that, because people know that's not true. Like, people truly know you don't get your top. They don't take your shit for no reason. So, like, there's really not a lot of pity.
Ridiculous. Marilyn, what are you talking about? But I just get sick of the same damn thing all the time. In all the cases, they mirror each other. If you've noticed, most of these stories mirror each other. They're just different people, but the circumstances are eerily similar.
Yes.
It's always CPS was called. They went and took the kids, gave them back. Somebody got drunk. Somebody got high. Somebody sleeping with Pookie, Ray, this and that. It's always the same shit. I'm just like, what is it? What fucking Kool-Aid bowl are you all drinking out of? Why can't you act like you're civilized? You know, yeah, we're all flawed. We make mistakes. We're going to break the law, do wrong things. But damn, at some point, change. You won't even make an attempt to try to change. That's why I have the problem. You just want to keep staying the same and then crying and moaning. Oh, they're talking about me. Oh, you know, well, damn, are you ever going to grow up? All these stories could be prevented.
It's a continued cycle.
Yeah, it's always the same stuff. The same. Every time I go in the queue, in the YouTube queue, it's the same story over and over. She let him beat her baby. He raped the baby, this and that. It's like, how many stories can you get what I'm saying? Every day. I mean, come on. Can't just be every day. It's a different place. It's a different city, but it's always the same similar stuff. Always something about sexual assault. Always something about, it's just always something. Always something about CPS being involved. You have to admit that something is off. That you got all these different walks of life. They don't see each other. They don't know each other, but all their stories mirror one another.
Mm-hmm.
Let's come on now.
And I truly believe it's all different walks of life.
Every day. Every day. It's the same damn story. It's just a different hair color, different eye color, different height, different weight. Oh, I ain't seen. Oh, like this one. We ain't seen the baby in 2 years. Okay. I wasn't raising him. She was living with her daddy. And I ain't seen her. And I tried to video chat. She'll never come to the telephone. Man, come on. Man, so something. This shit don't make no sense. So what are you telling these people when they ask you, of course, where your kids are? Especially if it's family. It's a difference if you don't really got no family and nobody see you with your kid. But you got friends and family. What are you telling them where your kid is? You understand what I'm saying? What are you telling the people? Because that other case that everybody's been talking about with the little girl missing, the daddy was arrested. What was he telling people what the little girl was? But you have to be telling them something.
If my mom came to my house more than once and didn't see my son, she would have so many questions. And then if I think about over a month, then no. I mean, I don't know.
But I'm saying that something's got to give at some point with these stories. Because I'm going to tell you the one common denominator is the witnesses coming forward after the fact to the news to tell us what they saw before death and before somebody went missing. That's probably worse than the actual abuse. You want to come to the news, get your 5 minutes of fame telling me, oh yeah, she would always come outside in the pajamas and play. Her mom was leaving at home alone while she went to work. Why the fuck you didn't call the police? What you telling me about it for? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember because I was on the phone talking to my mama that Sunday, Monday. It was her birthday. Well, guess what? While you sitting here watching her come outside in the same pajamas while the mama's at work, the mama was starving the little girl and locking her in a fucking closet and letting her piss and boo-boo on herself and sipping food out of a tin can through a straw. And the police said that when we went in that apartment, it smelled of pee and fecal matter. Everywhere. And she had people coming in there from Craigslist helping her move stuff out there to go move it to a house across town. So you mean to tell me the people came in the apartment, they ain't noticed it smelled like boo-boo? Oh, man. I'm dead.
How old was she?
I think she was 5. Her mama pled guilty in court yesterday. Thank you, Jesus. Cut all her hair off. She's a fucking nut. Standing in court looking like a bald-headed ass black man. I just look at this damn DCS. I didn't recognize her. They were showing the back of her head. I thought, what the hell is that? This stupid wankster cut all her hair off. She had a head full of hair. But see, I knew she was crazy when they told us what was found in the trunk. This bitch had a travel bag with sex toys in it. Where are you going, ma'am? Because you don't like to take your kid to the daycare. See where I'm going with this? So what would sex toys be doing in a bag and you were leaving your child unattended during the day? So you see where I'm going. So the bag with the sex toys means you were entertaining men. Where would your child be? Stay woke.
And a child that age unattended makes no sense.
And then they've got proof that she was traveling to Georgia. So let me guess, you were leaving the baby alone while you crossed state lines to entertain men.
Wow.
She had to. Because when she started spinning the lie, oh, my mom and daddy got her, keep her. You know, they went and talked to him. And they said, we ain't seen that baby in a year. Man, this shit makes my stomach turn. Because that's what they do. They don't ever think you're going to go ask somebody the truth. So they have to come up with a lie. But they're never thinking you're going to find out the truth. Well, the neighbor told it. Oh, she's outside playing all the time. I know her mama's at work and she just comes outside every day in the same pajamas. So the little girl opening the door and coming outside playing. And he walked her back to the apartment. Hell, who's to say he wasn't the sadist? He could have raped the little girl. You see what I'm saying? You didn't even give a fuck that your child's old enough to open the door. She's 5. Of course she can open the door.
Where was the dad? Was she
Florida,
dad
Florida.
relationship? Okay.
This makes me sick. Didn't have the nerve to be sitting there. Her commander or whoever is filming her in the car, telling her that they found her baby dead. She throws up right there. What a joke.
Well, that was a good sign. That's exactly right.
I just said to myself, okay, how many more of these stories? And I'm telling you, she left all kind of evidence. That's why she pled guilty yesterday. She had no choice. It was overwhelming. I already know it was overwhelming because when they described what the apartment looked like, there's no way you could talk your way out of nothing because they said it was nasty in there. I saw when they showed all the bags outside the apartment door, I already knew that place was disgusting inside. They had garbage bags filled outside the door. Then they said she left behind so much evidence out in the field where she dumped the baby. Shower curtain, tape, all kinds of stuff. She didn't care. Guess what? Had a nice Honda. GPS told it. That's how they found her.
Yeah.
This girl's so stupid. She dumps the baby right near her hometown off the freeway. So that's why they said, well, ma'am, what's your baby doing up here? Your mom and daddy said they ain't seen you in over a year or more. And they don't babysit, and they seen the kid either. So why is your baby dumped over here near your hometown? I don't know. Okay. See, that's the whole point of the blueprint, the digital blueprint. You always leave something behind and you don't even think about it. You're sitting in the Walmart, walking in, over here, the grocery store, you're coming out. People got doorbell cameras. Somebody saw you today when you walked outside that damn door.
And there's a lot of people that have vehicles that have navigation.
That's what I'm saying. When you drive a modern car,
they don't even know that they can track. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happened. That's how they found the baby. It's because of that car she drove. Nice Honda. And it had everything in there to track her ass. She makes me sick. She tried to lie all the way up to the end. I guess she said, I ain't gonna lie no more. I'm just gonna go and admit I killed my kid. And she did the right thing.
Yeah. She pled guilty.
Yeah, she pled guilty. What she should have done. Save the taxpayers.
And that's like Jackie and
tell the truth. Frankly, she should have. Frankly, when she went to court, a year ago, too, she should have told the truth then and cut the bullshit. Just say, yes, I killed my baby. This is why I killed her, and then be done with it. You know, quit holding up stuff. Because you're really wasting these people's time. You know what I'm saying? Just tell the truth. Jackie and Giselle should do the same thing. Just say, yeah, this is what we did. This is why. End it. Let's put an end to it. So nobody even has to even keep talking about it. You just tell the truth and be done with it.
They think they're in hell now. Wait till they go through that trial. They have no idea.
There's no way I'm going to sit here and let you embarrass me with the evidence.
Right.
That's why I don't understand why they're going to plead not guilty. Because common sense should tell you they got something. And you saying to yourself, well, I know they ain't got the body. So what could they have? I think by now it should have dawned on you what they got. You're stupid enough to sit there and let them people show all your personal business. They're going to show your financial records. They're going to bring up all kind of stuff. And then what you're going to really be mad at is the people that come in there testifying against your dumb ass.
Yep.
Why are you saying those things about me? You don't even know me. It's ridiculous. But you got people who don't care. So I don't care. Like what they say about the social media stuff, YouTube. Any attention is good attention. Just so you're talking about me. I don't care what you're saying. But that means you're morbid and you're warped inside. But you don't care. You should care. You killed some kids. Yeah, you should care. But then the flip side of that is, why should I think that they would care if you killed a kid? You didn't care nothing about the kid. So hell, you ain't gonna care about somebody saying something negative about you. You don't even care about a human life. You know when I read that indictment again yesterday, reading it makes me sick. Because when they say the one thing that says Orson West, a human life, man, that hits you like somebody punched you in your gut.
Yep.
Because they're wanting you to know he had a life. He had a life. You understand what I'm saying?
Sad. It truly is. It does give me some hope and make me want to be more patient with the whole Tennessee thing, because I know things take time and everybody's quick to be, harsh on the police and what they're doing in the investigation. But there's things
they weren't fit to have the kids, honey. The mother had 4 total children all out of her custody. She wasn't fit. She didn't want them, obviously. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you. Well, I ain't going to stay longer, but I just pray just don't go farther out, because they said that due to the fact that they just got defense attorneys, maybe a little longer than May 23rd or whatever. So, yeah. Yes.
He's already a good
exactly.
bit.
A human being. Exactly. And they were human beings. That's the point. They weren't just some little toys that you could just dispose of because you're feeling some type of way that day. I just don't understand killing a kid, period. But then to make your own children do it, man, there's no words to describe.
Truly a 2 and a 3-year-old do to you.
You don't deserve breath. But as they say, God is a forgiving God. He would be the only one that can forgive you. Because I don't see no use for you. You're not somebody I trust to walk around. I wouldn't trust these people with a dog. Everybody's worrying about that damn dog. I wouldn't trust them with nothing. Well, not even a goldfish.
No. And what they did to those boys affected all those other kids. I mean, like, it's more than just 2 lives.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's just daunting every day. Every day it's the same thing all day. Just like the case last year in California where the boyfriend and girlfriend are high, geeked up, staying in a hotel, and he's sitting here, he just threw the baby against the wall. What the fuck?
That is so, yeah. Well, I can't remember his name.
Like, what is going on?
And she stood right up there. I can't imagine. God strike me dead if I'm ever.
That pissed me off so damn bad. I just said to myself,
standing beside of a man.
Yes, because this is ridiculous.
And she stood right there beside of him, knowing what hit. I can't imagine. They're
getting high. They're getting high.
And I guess that's clearly just a lifestyle that I don't understand. But I can't imagine.
To watch anybody molest your child, beat your child, throw your child, torture your child. There are no words for either party.
Nope.
Either party. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, they were so high. They didn't know what they were doing. Okay. If that's what you want to think, that you're entitled to your opinion. And I don't believe that.
No. And he was the cutest little boy.
It's just so horrific thinking about a baby being beat or tortured. How do you beat a baby? I know they cry. They're supposed to cry. Like the doctor says, they cry because they can't talk. That's why they cry. If they tell you what's wrong with them.
Same thing with Orrin Orson. Like a 2 and a 3-year-old. What could they really have done to be so horrible?
Running around, falling out, having tantrums, jumping up and down. What kids do. And then they may have had some mental disabilities. That's normal. So they probably would act out a little more if they've got some things going on with them. But all in all, they're still kids. You have to try to work with them. And the people who brought them to you had to tell you if they had some type of developmental issues, then you should have forfeited and said, no, I don't think I can work with these kids. That's all you have to say. Why would you adopt them? That's what's really baffling to me. I'm trying to figure out the adoption process. That's where I'm really befuddled.
I would love to know, which would help figure out the Liddy statement tonight. I wonder at what point, I don't remember if previously when I was watching this stuff, if there was ever a date given when they became like foster parents or whatever. I mean,
we got all that. We got all that. It's about a year difference.
Okay. So they would have. You mean when they adopted Orrin or the boys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was probably about a year later when they adopted them.
I wonder at what point
I think it's about a 2 year. It's been a while, so we don't keep up with all that stuff. The point is, why would you adopt them?
There's a lot.
See, that's the flip side. That's the flip side of this story. They can easily go in court and say, well, they had to love them, they adopted them. But then what went wrong then? Something's off. Something's very off.
I think a lot of it has to do with the money, but then I think there's a lot to it at the same time.
It's got to be more than the money. Listen, it's got to be more than the money because the law says the amount is lessened by adoption. So that can't be true.
And that's what, you're right.
I'm not going to adopt you if I know I'm going to get less money if I'm in it for the money. So there's another reason why they adopted them. And that's where I think the sinister, that's where the sinister part comes in. He had more, it was something else he wanted by adopting them. What it is, I don't know. But like somebody said, he could also do what he want with them adopted. That is so true. And maybe that's why he did it. It was for sinister reasons.
That's interesting to think about because, it would make a lot more sense for them to continue fostering. I think it'll be very interesting to hear what they have. I really do.
Yeah. Well, I bet you it's got something to do with a cell phone.
Definitely. Because in fact, she had other pictures, or whoever had any other pictures. It's crazy to think this case has been around for so long, and I can probably think of maybe at the max, I'll say 10 photos. And then you think about it, you got Summer Wells over here with 5,000 photos. I mean, like, it's odd. There's something with that for sure.
Say that again. Something's what?
I said it's interesting to think, as long as I've been following the boys' case, that there's probably only 10 photos I can think that I've different photos, and that's pushing it to say 10 that I've ever seen of them total. Maybe from little infant pictures that was posted.
Well, see, the gist of the story is they didn't come from Jacqueline and Trezell. That's where the problem lies.
I wonder if they ever their phone.
They didn't post any new pictures of the kids to the to the FBI and all that. See, that's where the problem is. Your children are missing and you don't post any more pictures. Why not?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Which those are a lot of things that make me feel
that shows just cause you didn't have any pictures, probably because when you killed them, you got rid of anything that you did have of them. See, stay woke. I got rid of everything pertaining to the children. They probably didn't have anything left of those boys. Because that's usually what people do when they murder people. They get rid of their effects. And it don't matter if they're children or if they're adults. You hear it all the time. They emptied out their closet. They threw away their things. So you don't even know that the person had a wife or a husband because all the things are gone. Well, they'll do it with a child too. What's the difference?
Yeah, I don't know. It's so crazy to think about, like, the mindset of plotting it all out when they did like, what kind of people? I don't know.
No. Yeah, but see, that's what people do, though. That's the whole point. People plot. Well, I'm going to check out of here. I'm at 3:56. Thank you all so much. Hello, everybody in the chat. I'm going to go. I'm almost at 4 hours. I got to get some rest. Thank you, honey.
Have a good night.
Okay, you too, honey. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $Beganji129 Cash App. Oh, thank you all so much for visiting with the Queen. 200 people viewing. This is an interesting case coming out of California. I don't know if there's any truth to these allegations from this woman, but she states that her children, boy children, which is very ironic that they happen to be boy children, were placed with Jacqueline and Trezell West in foster care and adopted by them allegedly. She's not had contact with the kids in about 5 or 6 years. She's trying to find them, but naturally, once your rights have been severed, or you've lost rights or didn't comply, you don't have any rights to the children or any information thereof. DHS did respond to the news to say that they do not take children without just cause, but they will not elaborate on any allegations coming from this said woman. It is what it is. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'll bring you more information to this case as I get it, alongside Jacqueline and Trezell's murder charges. Any news I get about them or any news pertaining to the boys. Thank you all so much. Yes, thank you, Jennifer. Sorry you had to come in late. It's a long video, so you have to chop it up in different times to watch it because this is long, but it is what it is. Oh, thank you all so much. Thank you, Heather. It's been a long ride this evening. These lives get longer and longer, but I thank you all for following the content and prayers for the boys that they are found, get justice. Let's see who turns over Iraq tells the truth about what happened with the kids, own their part in coercing the children in murdering these kids, because it looks like that's what's in the affidavit and in the indictments. This is very hard to digest. It was one thing thinking that they killed the kids, but not involving their other children. That's something I was not expecting. Thank you so much, you all. It's Everyday Shenanigans.